Live presentation of CBC Sports. Wind Stadium in Hamilton. The football field is the same size as any other in the CFL. It's just that Doug Flutie can make it seem twice as big. He leads his BC Lions against the Tiger Cats, who are improved, but with only one win to show for it. BC at Hamilton in Week 12 of the CFL on CBC. The CFL team that lives on the picturesque West Coast has been known to be out of step, but not this year. The cheers are for the most dynamic quarterback in the game. Doug Flutie can and has done it all for the BC Lions. While exhausting defenses the league over, he has thrown and scrambled the line through a winning record and himself to the lead in most quarterback categories. In all of this scrambling, there is a structure. Doug Flutie may be the only one who knows what it is, but it works. It also works when he throws the ball to Matt Clark, already gone over 1,000 yards receiving. Handing off to John Volpe is effective as well. Volpe is headed for 1,000 yards rushing. As a boy, Flutie threw a lot of playground passes to his brother Darren. Now he does it for money. Darren joined the Lions 3 weeks ago, and in 2 starts has averaged over 100 yards a game. It's enough to make a flamboyant owner gloat, and fans make up for cheers lost last year. Tonight, the Big Cat tries to extend its turf to Hamilton. Tiger Cat faithful are at Wind Stadium tonight as a member of the opposition, as they are their own team. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Hamilton, where one thing is certain, as it has been all season long, and that is that Doug Flutie will be scrambling tonight. The Tiger Cats already know it, but knowing how to stop them is a whole different story. And even if the Tiger Cats can do that, there are many more weapons in the Lions' arsenal than just Doug Flutie to worry about that. And to talk more about that in the broadcast booth, here is Don Whitman with Joe Galat.
Thank you, Scott. Hi, everybody. Obviously, Doug Flutie is the man who makes that high-powered BC offense click, but there are other components, and one of them is a rookie receiver out of Calgary by the name of Matt Clark.
Oh, Matt Clark has done so many things for the BC Lions, but he gets that running start, takes off up through there. He's a tough guy to catch. He's already broken Murph Fernandez's rookie pass receiving record.
And he still has 6 games remaining, one of 4 receivers in the CFL this year over 1,000 yards. He's not as many passes, but he does specialize in punt returns and kickoff returns for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and they feel they have a good one for the future in Nick Mazzoli.
Nick Mazzoli is an exciting player. He's an All-American from SFU, averaging over 12 yards on punt returns. I think we'll see him as a receiver as the game wears on.
Earlier this year, Mazzoli had a 74-yard punt return for a touchdown against the Ottawa Rough Riders. So the BC Lions and the Hamilton Tiger Cats just about set with 2 young players in the lineup, and we'll have that kickoff in a moment. But right now, let's rejoin Scott Oakley.
Don, the BC Lions are a rebuilt football team, and likely their best off-season addition was John Volpe. When Flutie is not running with the ball, then Volpe is, and he'll be our guest on Live at the Half. And we'll be joined live from Calgary by Larry Rickman, whose purchase of the Stampeders is almost complete. That's on Live at the Half. The kickoff is up next. You're watching the CFL on CBC, live from Hamilton.
The CFL on CBC. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Miller Lite, always a great call. By GMC Truck. And by 7-Up. It's cool to be clear.
It's a cool night in Hamilton, but unlike many football games at Wind Stadium, the wind should not be a factor. It is very light. The BC Lions preparing to kick off to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. John Gregory made his debut as head coach of the Ticats on September 2nd, and he won his first game and only against the Toronto Argonauts. Former Toronto Argonaut coach Bob Obilovich made his debut as a BC Lion coach at Ivor Wynne Stadium in September a year ago. Mazzoli takes the opening kickoff on the return. He, with that good speed, brings it up to the 40-yard line. Ken Petway was there to make a tackle, a 25-yard run back for Mazzoli.
Well, that's what the coaches were talking about yesterday. Special teams has given them such good field position to begin with. But Matt Dillon, being their starting quarterback going into this ball game, 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, hasn't played a lot this year.
So Todd Dillon draws the starting quarterback assignment. His pass is complete to Champion, who brings it up to the 50-yard line, very close to a first down. John Gregory told us yesterday that during practice this week, he stressed that they run their pass patterns properly. He said that last week in their loss to Calgary, many people were breaking off patterns too short or running them too long. So this week, he stressed that they do them properly. There aren't many patterns, he said, in our arsenal, but they will run them correctly. But this could be a blow if Tony Champion is hurt.
Well, Champion's been limping along. They've had their receivers hurt. But watch Champion extend his body up, brings the ball down, try to get some protection, but he got crunched between 2 tacklers. Looks like it's in the rib area.
Tony Champion is the leading receiver in the Ticat lineup this evening. Earl Winfield is already out of the Hamilton lineup. And the loss of both Winfield and Champion would be a serious blow to the Hamilton offense. So Nick Mazzoli will come into the ball game to take over for Tony Champion if he should be out for any length of time. But he is up and walking off to the sideline.
He's just going to go over and find out where his wind went. But Todd to get the ball to Jamie Morris. They have to control the up-front pass rush with the running game, and Champion's got to get back in there and be their key receiver.
Mazzoli comes into the ball game, replacing Champion, 1st and 10 from the 51-yard line. They swing it out to Jamie Morris, and Morris is taken out of bounds as he hits midfield. There are penalty flags on the play. It could be a face mask call against Morris Smith.
When you get a running back out in the open field like Jamie Morris was, that puts a lot of pressure on your defensive secondary to come up and make the hit, particularly to make the hit without grabbing onto something that's sticking out like a face mask.
Face mask, BC number 24, first down.
And the face mask call was against Morris Smith. So that provides the Ticats with a first down at the 40 as they look at the right knee of Tony Champion. Dillon steps up, throws deep, a rare touchdown. Very quickly, the Hamilton Ticats strike for the game's opening touchdown. Todd Dillon to Ken of Rare, a 40-yard touchdown throw. It required just 3 plays for the Ticats to put it in the end zone from the opening kickoff.
Well, Dillon came back. As he dropped out, he saw Rare down the seam. Perfect pass straight down the alley, and he put it right on the money.
Only the 2nd touchdown of the season for Ken of Rare. Paul Osbaldiston adds the point after, and a minute and 11 seconds into the opening quarter at Ivor Wynne Stadium, the Ticats have a 7-0 lead.
You can see the eyes here. The reason they got him in there, he's got mobility, and Dillon moved up to avoid the rush, put the ball right down the seam. Rare made a super catch on the thing, didn't even have to break stride, so you got to credit Dillon, who was getting pressure.
Good touch by Todd Dillon as he lobbed it over the head of defensive back Ken Petway, and Ken of Rare did not have to break stride as he hauled it in and went for 6 points.
Look at Dillon. He's happy with that because he knows he did a good job. He avoided the rush. He was getting Poe up in his face, stepped up, made a nice delivery, so he's pleased with himself. Musical chairs at quarterback may be over if he keeps playing like this.
I think John Gregory surprised some people when he said that Todd Dillon would be his starting quarterback tonight, and that Wilson, the rookie, might see some action.
A lot of people want to see McPherson in that lineup, mostly cab drivers in Hamilton.
Lorenzo Graham gives the BC Lions excellent field position, getting it back to the 47-yard line, a 32-yard run back. Scott?
Well, Don, the touchdown, good news for Hamilton, and so is the news on Tony Champion. Number 87 is running here on the sidelines to shake off the effects of a shot he took to his right knee. He's got a slight contusion there, but no damage done, and they expect him back in the game right away.
Well, he would like to get back in right away. It will be up to the Hamilton defense to try and control Doug Flutie and the most explosive offense in the CFL. Flutie fumbles the exchange from center, collides with John Volpe, and he is sacked for a loss by John Moulton, the linebacker.
John Moulton on the tackle.
Not a good exchange from center, and that's the problem Flutie had last week. Despite that loss to the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 49-47, Flutie completed 28 of 39 for 406 yards and 3 touchdowns.
He's having a little trouble when there's somebody over the nose of Ian Sinclair, the center.
This is when he is most effective. Has he got a receiver? His brother Darren is open.
Well, what do you expect? I mean, they have played a lot of backyard catch, and I think Darren told us yesterday, Don, that he's had probably 100,000 passes caught by him from his brother, and that was typical of him. That looked like a playground play, and they just didn't get any contain on the backside of Flutie. Flutie did the fish hook, but look how alert Darren is to come back to the open seam, knows his brother's in trouble, makes the catch.
In Doug's senior year at Boston College, when he won the Heisman Trophy, he and Darren were teammates.
They both beat Flutie. How do you tell this one?
Volpe, good hole, and Volpe gets the first down as he battles his way to the 28 of the Hamilton Ticats. Darren Flutie on that previous play with a 28-yard gain, realizing his brother was in trouble, tried to find an open spot, knowing that if Doug could escape the pressure, he would get the ball to him, and he did. And Volpe adds another BC first down, or at least it appears to be a first down. A measurement will determine that it is.
Well, that's the dimension that you get from a John Volpe. He can just get those 10 yards. He makes it look easy. He blows in through there, got those 10 yards, and he's got the first down. But Matt Clark's going to be a key in this ball game as well.
Matt Clark wears number 5. Jay Christensen is number 83. A pass on the sidelines. Gary Wilkerson almost intercepting. It was intended for Darren Flutie. Doug Flutie points at his own number, indicating that was his fault on the pass.
Yeah, they're trying to read here, and then Darren makes the outside break. Doug is not expecting him to break it off so deep. He's got to come back for the football. Darren knew that, and he indicated it to his brother.
Darren played his first game as a BC Lion on September the 14th. From the shotgun formation. Pass complete to Clark. This should be another first down BC, depending on where they spot the football. What a year Clark has had. Actually, when Bob Obilovich went down to Montana to scout, he was looking at Mike Trevathan, and Matt Clark had an outstanding performance. As a result, he signed both of them.
Well, and they've both done a good job for him, but Matt Clark is big, he's got the size, and he has a feel for where the open area is on the field. If they're playing zone coverage, he'll find the open area, shield out the defenders. That's what he did for that first down.
Jake Ireland signals another BC first down. The Lions are 1st and 10. The ball is at the 19-yard line.
Defensively, they're going to have to get pass rush and contain with David Braley, but Pete Kostopoulos has got to do a good job inside, and Forrest Irvin has to hold up on the outside receivers, Darren Flutie mostly.
1st and 10. Handoff inside to Volpe, and Volpe can't escape the clutches of Vernon Maxwell.
Coaches are really pleased with Vernon Maxwell. Saw him a couple weeks ago go into the lineup. They played him on the weak side. And then because Hilk has come along so well, Brian Hilk, they put Maxwell now on the strong side like a rush end. And we've seen him get into a lot of action.
Volpe with a solid game could go over 1,000 yards tonight. On 2nd and 11, Flutie throws over the head of Jay Christensen. So it will be 3rd and 11. Horace Irvin was defending against Christensen. 10:23 remaining in the opening quarter. Hamilton leading 7-0. The Ticats striking quickly. A 40-yard touchdown pass from Todd Dillon to Ken Abraire.
Good tight man coverage, which is a nice call down on the goal line because there's not a lot of places for them to go. The wideouts were covered very snugly.
The CFL's all-time leading scorer. 2,447 points coming into the game for Passaglia. Now 2,450. The BC Lions trail by 4 with 10:05 remaining in the opening quarter.
The Fluties have been a hot combination for the BC Lions early in this game, so here's a trivia question for you. What was the last brother combination to play quarterback and receiver in the Canadian Football League? You have to go back a long way to 1938 when the Stukas brothers, Annis, Bill, and Frank, played for the Toronto Argonauts. The league doesn't remember who was the quarterback and who was the receiver, and neither does Annis when he was asked this week. All he could recall was that it was a Stukas who threw the ball and a Stukas who caught it. Don?
Stukas, of course, was the first coach of the BC Lions and is still very much involved in covering football on the West Coast, involved in the radio broadcast, ANW.
He still has his helmet from that game as well. He wears it every year.
Mazzoli on the kickoff return. The native of Markham, Ontario, is forced out of bounds, but not before he hits the 44. Lonnie Finch extended that play to the sidelines, a 34-yard run back for Nick Mazzoli.
So Todd Dillon once again takes over in good field position thanks to the special teams work of Hamilton, and that's one of the areas of emphasis from John Gregory.
Steve Brown lines up wide left, 3 receivers to the left side. The pass deep for Brady. Two touchdown passes for Todd Dillon. Only 2 receptions for Ken Abraire. One a 40-yard touchdown. This a 65-yard touchdown.
You know, all I can think about is what John Gregory told us, that they had worked on only about 5 pass patterns this week. And if this isn't a Saskatchewan pass pattern, I've never seen one, because that is a John Gregory pass route, and they worked on those slot backs all week. That's a perfect throw, and that emphasis has paid off.
Impressive statistics for Ken Abraire. The point after by Osbaldiston. There is a penalty flag on the play. Gregory appeared very upset when we talked with him yesterday about the pass patterns his players ran last week against Calgary.
Offside. BC number 4. Convert is good. 5 yards on the kickoff.
When you're used to Elgard and Fairholm as your slot backs, you've got a right to be upset. But he's not upset with Abraire here. Watch him come right down the seam, and he's beating the halfback. No chance for the safety to come over because he took it right down the seam, and then he breaks away from the free safety for the touchdown.
Gregory said you can be guaranteed in this game we will run our patterns correctly.
Those 2 were good pass patterns.
Great pass patterns, and Todd Dillon laid the ball out perfectly for Ken Abraire. He ran under both of them for a 40-yard touchdown and a 65-yard touchdown, and very quickly, John Gregory's team has taken a 14-3 lead.
Look at the guy is up, moving around. The big Tiger's going to roar tonight.
The Ticats with just 1 win so far this season. That was a victory over the Toronto Argonauts on the 2nd of September. Lorenzo Graham is the kickoff man for the BC Lions. He's brought down at the 41-yard line by Paul Bushy, former member of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, who was acquired just this week by the Hamilton Ticats. A 25-yard return by Graham.
Well, one of the things that Lorenzo Graham has done in Bobo Bilovich's grading system, he's graded out as the top special teams player, and it's because of that kind of effort that he gives on special teams, on the returns particularly.
First and 10. The Lions operating at their own 39-yard line. They trail 14-3. Doug Flutie trying to correct that, and he tosses one to Chris Skinner, who battles his way very close to a first down at the 49-yard line. Corus Urban forces it out of bounds, and Bobo Bilovich must be wondering what is happening here at Ivor Wynne Stadium.
That was a nice play pass and a good delivery. Watch the fake here to Volpe. Gives the hand fake to Volpe, and he lays the ball out there. It's coming right into your living room. He caught it right on top of his head, really. Took it off his forehead. Nice catch by Skinner.
The first quarter has always been a problem for the BC Lions. During the course of the season, they have only scored 40 first-quarter points, and yet they have the most explosive offense in the CFL. Doug Flutie on the quarterback sneak will pick up a first down. It's hard to believe, Joe, that a team that has scored as many points as the BC Lions, they lead the league in offense, having racked up I correct that. They are second in the in the West behind the Edmonton Eskimos, but it's hard to believe that a team that has scored as many points as they have has only scored 40 in the first quarter.
Yeah, they've done it all in 3 quarters, most of the games.
Volpe, the ball carrier, and Volpe fights his way to the 53-yard line where he's stopped by Vernon Maxwell.
What you're going to see tonight is that Ian Sinclair over Mark Mraz, and Volpe's going to cut off of Sinclair's blocks. If Mraz takes him outside, he's going to go back to the inside. And he's just going to watch Sinclair, and he's going to try to cut off that nose tackle and the center's block.
Volpe is the number 3 running back in the CFL with 882 yards. Hamilton's ground game has not been as effective. They've had a number of different people running the football for them. Trevathan on second down. Caught the pass, but Brian Hilt caught Trevathan, and he is stopped short of a first down.
They had the 3 receivers on one side, and they brought him back to the inside, and Flutie really is looking to go deep. Watch him look downfield. Do it. He can't do it. He pumps 3 times and then finally settles just for a completed pass, hoping Trevathan can break a tackle. Didn't work.
First punt of the football game. Mazzoli is the lone man back to accept the boot by Lou Pasaglia, who stands at his own 44-yard line. Pasaglia had a little trouble handling that snap from center, gets a good kick away. Mazzoli takes it at the 7-yard line. Mazzoli averaging over 12 yards per return, runs the ball back to the 23, where he's tackled by Bruce Holmes after a 16-yard run back. The Hamilton Ticats have scored 2 touchdowns. They have only had the football for 1 minute and 23 seconds. And Todd Dillon has found Ken Avrere for touchdown passes of 40 and 65 yards. 3 receivers wide right over the middle, and the pass is complete to Jamie Morris for a Hamilton first down.
Well, this is the other Matt Clark that plays for the Lions in special teams. Believe me, it's no picnic. Middle of the screen, Matt Clark snaps the ball to Louis. Now he's trying to get downfield. Don't believe that Hamilton's record is an indication of their effort. Watch Terry. Boom, boom, boom. Come back. They're still fighting.
Intended again for Morris. It's incomplete. It will be 2nd and 10 Hamilton. The ball is at the 34-yard line.
He wanted to get that ball off quick. He's getting pressure, but what Todd Dillon is doing, he's getting the ball right down the middle to the running backs, down to the middle to the slot backs, and Todd Dillon is pumped up tonight.
Two Matt Clarks on that BC roster. The Matt Clark who we witnessed just a moment ago has an E on the end of his name. The receiver does not. Passes over the head of Tony Champion, and the Ticats have their first punt of the football game. Lonnie Finch was defending against Champion.
Dillon's telling him, Tony, when I'm throwing the curl, I mean, don't come all the way back inside. Just take the curl tight when the receiver's on you. So that worked out, but not a bad start for Todd Dillon.
Osbaldiston stands at his own 20-yard line. Darrell Harrell is the center for the Hamilton Ticats, and Osbaldiston gets a good kick away. There will be a no-yard call, however, against the Hamilton Ticats, as Jefferson fielded it at the 35.
Sorry, right on the tackle. Penalty marker on the play.
On the sidelines, let's join Scott Oates.
Don, in the East, the Argonauts didn't play last night, but hung on to sole possession of first place when the Bombers were beaten in Edmonton. The Argonauts have a chance to push their lead to 4 points when they play in Ottawa tomorrow, but the Rough Riders haven't given up hope of a second-place finish and home field in the playoffs. In the West, the Eskimos' win last night has them breathing down the necks of the first-place Stampeders. The Lions would like to be as well, and will be if they win tonight. And Saskatchewan pretty much needs to beat Calgary tomorrow to remain a serious playoff contender.
A no-yards penalty against the Ticats moved the ball up to the 50-yard line. First and 10, BC. The toss to Volpe. He cuts back inside, and he'll have a gain of about 3 before being stopped by Vernon Maxwell.
Well, Joe Campbell is really upset. He thinks he's been held. You can see Joe Campbell at the top of your screen. Volpe gets the ball on the sweep, and he has to make the cutback. Look at Campbell. He's telling the officials he didn't like the way he was being blocked on that play.
Credit Volpe with a gain of 4. It's second and 6. The ball between the 53 and 54-yard lines. Matt Clark provides the Lions with a first down. Trying to move forward. He's driven back, but his progress will provide the Lions with a first down. Wiseman and Houghton made the tackle.
Well, Matt Clark makes a perfect hook. Watch him hook. He fades, throttles down, sees where the ball's going to come between the two defenders, and then he sidesteps the first tackler. But then the posse comes and they gang up on him there. Nice job by Clark finding the seam. He's very good at that.
First and 10, the ball at the Hamilton 47-yard line. Safety blitz, and Volpe is upset by Brian Hilk as he crosses the 45. Moten also had a hand in on that stop.
Pablo Vilovich told us something interesting. You know, he's worked with Joe Moss, the defensive coordinator for Hamilton. They worked together for a long time. He says, yeah, I know Joe Moss really well. Then Joe Moss told us, he says, yeah, I know Bob Vilovich really well. So I think that safety blitz was about a tie.
Todd Dillon is outperforming the leading passer in the CFL so far in tonight's game, but there's still plenty of time remaining. There's a flag as Volpe picks up a BC first down. It could be an offside call against the Hamilton Ticats. It looked as though they may have lined up offside. Vernon Maxwell on the left end.
He was getting nervous. He was right up on the ball. You can see he thinks he's playing in the NFL. He didn't give a yard at all.
Offside. Hamilton number 92. Decline. First down.
It was Vernon Maxwell who moved, or actually lined up offside. Out of Arizona State, he spent time in the NFL with Baltimore, San Diego, Detroit, and Seattle.
Oh, you go.
Good fake inside. Flutie will run and should have another first down for the BC Lions.
Watch Doug Flutie's fake to the running back. This is what Doug does so well. He gives. Watch the angle a defender tries to get him at. You're never going to get Doug Flutie coming tight upfield on him. You got to come square up the field. You can't come at an angle and expect to get. Look at this, the magic flute right there for the first down.
He isn't particularly quick, but he does have that ability to avoid tacklers, and he provides BC with a first down at the 23. He gives to Volpe, and Volpe got back to the line of scrimmage and not much more.
This Brian Hilk we were impressed with last week, and he is a pumped-up guy. He's been making plays back-to-back, doing a good job. He's enthused, and what he does best, when he's on the run, he'll come in and just really lay the wood on people. He's a good, hard-nosed linebacker.
Out of the University of Akron, Hilk has no previous professional experience. He went through training camp with the Ticats, got his opportunity to play with the arrival of John Gregory as head coach. Flutie sends pressure from behind, is knocked down, loses the football. Campbell made contact with him. Hamilton recovers. So with 2:01 remaining, the Hamilton Ticats take over on the turnover.
Joe Campbell came in from defensive line at the angle. Doug Flutie comes off the fake. He's getting pressure here. It's a cause fumble. There's not much he can do about it at that point. Watch the backside. Trevathan misses Campbell. Flutie's pressured front side, has to gain depth. Campbell came in, made the fumble, and Campbell recovered the fumble.
The Ticats continuing with just one running back. That's Jamie Morris. And Jamie Morris takes the ball into BC territory, pushed out of bounds at the 48 by Ken Petway. A gain of 21 yards for Jamie Morris.
This is one of those Michigan running backs. You see both hands on the football, a Michigan trademark. Now watch him break to the outside, using his blockers. He gets the corner and still drives for extra yards. Nice low center of gravity and a good run by Jamie Morris of Michigan.
Dave Richardson got out in front to throw a block. 1st and 10, the draw play with Jamie Morris. Big hole. Is this the same Hamilton Ticat football team that has won just one game this season?
Well, I think using maybe 5 pass routes, that helped them this week. And, of course, if you're doing well on the pass, that draw play works. And they showed pass, gave the ball off to the running back for the draw, Jamie Morris.
5 receivers in there, and making the catch is Mazzoli. Another Hamilton first down at the 23-yard line, a gain of 11. Middle linebacker Bruce Holmes making the tackle. Well, the Lions, Joe, seem to be having some problems adjusting to the 5 receivers who are in there for Hamilton.
Yeah, they sure do. They got them thinking about the seams now. They're thinking so much about the seams, they're getting the crossing patterns underneath.
John Gregory has to be very what he has witnessed from his offense in this opening quarter. Good fake inside. Pass is complete to Abraire. Ken, you're not doing too well in this football game. That's your 3rd pass, and you didn't score a touchdown.
Well, he slipped off the block. You can see what Abraire was looking for. He was just trying to get the defender to hold up so the quarterback would have time to deliver. Dillon had to come off the play fake. Abraire was out in the sideline there. He thought he was going to get turned upfield, but they had a good defensive play by BC.
Dillon steps up. Can he find someone open? He dumps it off. Morris has a first down inside the 5. Loses the football. It's picked up by Smith, and the play continues. And Morris Smith brings it all the way back to the 45-yard line.
John Gregory's upset. He felt that the ground made him fumble, and he was yelling. He was running down there towards the officials.
That was not the case, however, and that is also the final play of the opening quarter. And now, well, John Gregory thought his Ticats were moving in for a 3rd touchdown. He that Jamie Morris fumbled when he hit the ground. That was not the case. The officials made an excellent call. 1st and 10, BC to start the 2nd quarter from the 45. Flutie can't find anybody to throw to. He runs for a first down.
Flutie, the ball carrier.
Well, he did a good job of avoiding the guy. He was going to get hit into the wall, I think. That was a good job by Flutie to get out of the way. Bergantz did a great job on this last play. Dillon was maneuvering, and watch Dillon. Well, you can't see Dillon, but Morris slips through, and Dillon puts a Doug Flutie move on the defenders, but watch what Brigance does. That's a good call by the officials. That is a fumble. He fumbled the ball before he was down.
First and 10. The Lions now at the 52 of Hamilton, trailing 14-3. Hand off to Volpe. Volpe trying to get outside. Forced out of bounds by Gary Wilson. The penalty flag on the play.
Looks like it's in the area of offensive line holding, but they didn't get much on that.
No.
The holding call is against the BC Lions. 14-3 is the score. Hamilton in front.
They strung that play all the way out to the sideline. Good job by the Hamilton defense. They came up and knocked Volpe out for no gain.
Holding. BC number 20. Repeat first down.
Chris Skinner was guilty of the holding call with a 14-3 lead. As you might expect, the statistics favor the Hamilton Ticats. They struck very quickly for their 2 touchdowns, one a 40-yard toss to Ken Abraire, the other a 65-yard strike from Todd Dillon to his slot back.
Yeah, you don't need possession if you strike quick. Lightning doesn't have much.
Pass complete to Skinner. And Skinner got it back to the original line of scrimmage, perhaps a yard beyond, before being stopped by the combination of Jackson and Wiseman.
I don't know what Doug Flutie did, if he tripped or he really meant to go backwards that far, but he had the ball down around his hip, and he put the ball out to Skinner, and there was just too much reaction time for the Hamilton defense. They came up and held it to a 2-yard gain.
Second and 9. Flutie to Skinner again, and he won't get the first down. He is stopped 3 yards short of that forward marker at the 45 of the Hamilton Ticats.
This is what's happened. Hamilton's done that several times, Don. They've come up on zone coverage and reacted in enough time to keep them from making first downs.
Bobby Dawson from his inside halfback position to make the tackle. So Lou Pasaglia enters the ball game. He'll be kicking to Nick Mazzoli. Mazzoli signed a contract with the Ticats on the 23rd of August. The ball bounces to Mazzoli at the 8. And he is tackled by Mike Marasco with 12:47 remaining in the half. And Hamilton in front by 11. Well, it's that time of year where the evenings are a little chillier, but the performance of the Hamilton Ticats in the opening quarter has certainly warmed the hearts of Ticat fans. And we have a quarterbacking change for the Hamilton Ticats. Don McPherson comes into the ball game. First and 10, the ball is at the 18-yard line. He gives the ball to Jamie Morris, and Jamie Morris is across the 25, stopped by Bruce Holmes. There is also a penalty flag on the play.
This is what the Hamilton fans, including the cab drivers, have been waiting to see. McPherson at quarterback. All-American at Syracuse. Broke every passing record at Syracuse.
BC number 93. Decline. Second down.
The penalty against Reggie Johnson declined.
Players think McPherson has an awful lot of confidence in practice. They were anxious to see what he'd do in a ball game.
John Gregory described him as very bright with excellent foot speed, but a somewhat inconsistent thrower. McPherson keeps the ball on second down and a yard and should have the first down. But Gregory told us yesterday that McPherson would get an opportunity to play. He wasn't going to start him, but he said that he would give him a chance to gain some professional experience in tonight's football game. And I'm a little surprised that he is in the ball game as early as he has been inserted.
Well, it must have been predetermined. If things went well the first quarter, they were going to go with Don McPherson the second quarter, but the Hamilton fans are delighted.
McPherson to the sidelines for Champion. Champion faked Morris Smith and picked up some additional yardage, getting up to the 46-yard line for a gain of.
nice touch on that ball. He threw it a long way. He threw it all the way to the out. Watch McPherson as he sets up. He's getting a little bit of a rush, but he hangs in there, delivers the ball. Oh, not a perfect spiral. He gave him a Joe Cap pass to the outside.
McPherson, good size, 6'1", 190 pounds.
And he can run.
And he may take off here. No, he throws, and it's over the head of the intended receiver, Nick Mazzoli. I said that the insertion of McPherson is a surprise based on what Todd Dillon did in the opening quarter. 2 touchdown strikes to Ken Abrera.
No question, and Dillon made a super play to get that ball to Jamie Morris when he did fumble. So Dillon had a perfect first quarter. He's done very well. I guess he wants to see him under, normal game conditions, not with a big lead or not with a...
Second and 10. This is almost intercepted. I think Robin Belanger, playing that safety position, was starting to look at the end zone that was about 70 yards away because he had some room on the sidelines. That ball was well over the head of the intended receiver, and Belanger had some room over there had he been able to make the catch. The pass intended for Wally Zatilny.
I think he thought he had a touchdown.
Norman Jefferson is the lone man back for this third down punt by Paul Osbaldiston. It appears as though the Ticats are a man short. They are missing a player on their punting team, and as a result, Osbaldiston is going to take a delay of game penalty. There will probably be some words from Coach John Gregory to Wally Zatilny after the football game.
It may not be Zatilny. It may have been one of the other players, but whoever was AWOL, he will definitely hear from the coaches. Coaches hate to see that happen.
5-yard penalty takes the ball back to the 41. Good kick by Osbaldiston. Jefferson waits for it at the 25. First man downfield makes the tackle. Wally Zatilny redeems himself as he restricts the return to 3 yards. Scott?
Well, Don, you fellows can concentrate on calling the game while I dig for the real stories. You've heard of that twins separated at birth deal? Well, I'm on to something really big in the case of the Lions' John Volpe. You know Woody, the bartender on the TV series Cheers? Check this out. This is Volpe behind the bar with Sam. And side by side, Woody and John Volpe, I'm telling you, they're dead ringers. I'm not sure where this is going to lead, but I do know that Volpe and Woody have never been seen in the same room together. And can I say one more thing, Don? You both are starting to look an awful lot alike to me.
If we look as much alike as Volpe and Woody do, you are in trouble, Scott. I think you better get those glasses adjusted.
He's got trouble.
Screen pass to Trevathan, and Trevathan is brought down at the 29.
This is a different defense than we've seen the Ticats. They are moving around, making tackles all over the place. And I think what you see is reaction. Kefstopoulos came up, squeezed that play off, but the defensive front, they're getting pressure, and the linebackers are making some reactions, making things happen. Good fake to Volpe. He got tackled. That's what a good fake that was. I think he's got the same contract as Woody and Cheers.
He wishes he had that type of contract. From the shotgun formation, 2nd and 8. Flutie steps up. Trevathan comes back to help make the catch for a first down at the 48-yard line. Todd Wiseman, the safety, came over to make the tackle. That's something BC receivers do so well, is come back and help out Flutie when he appears to be in trouble.
Well, those receivers actually run scramble routes after Flutie. Look at it. He avoided. Nobody was rushing him. He avoided him. And he came back, and there was Trevathan. They know how to scramble. After Flutie scrambles, they know how to find a seam. Watch, there's nobody really giving him pressure, and he scrambled. He did the fish hook without anybody causing it.
1st and 10, swing pass to Volpe. Volpe had 4 Ticats come over to bring him down, one of them being John Moulton, the linebacker. Bailey and Irvin were also there, and the gain is about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7.
This is a good job. You can't ask for any better job by the quarterback to get the ball out there. Time he wasted the defensive pass rush, and then he dumped the ball off. But Moulton came up and made a nice hit. Bailey came up from behind.
Flutie steps away from two would-be tacklers. One of them going right over top of him as he ducked underneath, but he just got back to the line of scrimmage.
Had the pass rush on. They put the blitz on them, and the blitzing linebackers didn't get him. So when Flutie got in trouble, Bailey went right over top of him. He got in trouble. Now he got hit by Weisman to wrap him up. Well, they sent everybody on that play.
14-3 is the score. The Ticats leading. Third down punt by Lou Pasaglia. Mazzoli waits for it. This could be a no-yards call. There's the flag, and down goes Mazzoli at line, following the initial no yards infraction. A 35-yard kick, a 6-yard return. We'll sort out the penalties when we return.
Doug Flutie's a legitimate candidate for the CFL's Outstanding Player Award, and so is John Volpe for Rookie of the Year. The latter candidate will join us in Live at the Half, and we'll go live to Calgary to talk with Larry Rickman, the rookie owner of the Calgary Stampeders. Don?
Flag on the play as Morris carries the ball up beyond the 40-yard line, stopped by Bruce Holmes.
Holmes and Burgess on the tackle, penalty marker on the play.
The holding call against the Hamilton Ticats. On that previous punt, there was a no-yards call against Doug Hocking, an illegal block against Todd Wiseman.
Holding. Hamilton number 56. Repeat first down.
The holding call is against center Dale Sanderson. We'll get a look at it right here.
Well, Sanderson, he's got his elbows out. And Bayless got a little dance there. They're doing a two-step. You got to keep those elbows in.
First and 20. McPherson throws for Champion, incomplete.
Pass is incomplete.
You got to make those kind of catches, particularly when you got a young quarterback in there. They ran pattern. Bayless is coming up. He's just been held, so he's going to pay back. This is retribution time. Now watch him. Well, looks like he's holding Sanderson this time.
Second and 20. The ball is back at the 18-yard line. Here comes the pressure on the young quarterback, and down he goes in the grasp of Paul Wetmore, coming from his outside linebacking position.
McPherson attacked by Paul Wetmore.
Yeah. What Wetmore did is come back to the inside, linebacker blitz. Wetmore's coming through. McPherson sets up, and he doesn't have a chance to go for it. Paul Wetmore breaks through the inside. The guard had to come out and take the end of the line.
Third down punt fielded by Mike Trevathan. There's a penalty flag on this play as well, as the tackle is made at the 43-yard line by Lance Trumbull after a 37-yard punt and an 8-yard return. 6:29 remains in the half. A holding call against the BC Lions on the punt return has taken the football back to the 48-yard. It's first and 10 BC. A reverse with Clark. He got a good block and then got to the outside and should be close to a first down. Taken out of bounds by Brian Hill.
Nice tackle by Brian Hill, but they set the play up by having 4 people to the front side. There was only 1 receiver back. Clark made a nice move.
Flutie has completed his last 8 passes, and he's clicked on 10 of 12 attempts tonight, but has not been able to put the football in the end zone. This one is close enough to call for a measurement.
A lot of passing coaches will say that, Don. They'll say, look, we don't care if we don't get the first down, but if we complete the pass, the psychology of having completed those passes helps your offense. And Doug Flutie did twice, as we can remember, on second down. He completed the pass without really getting the first down. Nice pitch to Clark, but watch Clark make a little bounce to the outside. Fake inside, bounce back to the outside, but Hill came in and really jammed him. Watch this.
First and 10, BC. The Lions at the 51 of Hamilton. In terms of yardage, Clark was the number 3 receiver in the CFL. As Joe mentioned at the start of our telecast, he broke Mervyn Fernandez's BC rookie record. Sideline pattern is complete. Trevathan taken out of bounds. He bounced off the initial hit from Bobby Dawson on the sidelines and carried on before Todd Wiseman took him out of bounds down at the 1.
Doug Flutie puts the ball out here, and he puts it just a little bit behind the receiver. And watch what happens as Trevathan comes back for the football. He actually had to come back and get the football, and then Wiseman is the only man left to come over and save it. That ball's a little bit underthrown, just enough so he could come back away from the receiver. Bobby Dawson couldn't stay with him.
First and goal for the Lions. They are at the 1-yard line. Penalty flag. Volpe should have a touchdown, depending upon the call.
Penalty marker on the play.
Offside. Hamilton for 92. Decline. Touchdown.
Vernon Maxwell was offside, so the touchdown will stand as the BC Lions get their first major of the football game. You know, the second and fourth quarters have been the Lions' most productive during the course of the year. 143 points in the second quarter, 145 in the fourth. But this is their first touchdown of the night, and it comes with 5:30 remaining in the first half. Lou Pasaglia was the point after, and the BC Lions have drawn within 4 of the Hamilton Ticats. The BC Lions attempting to keep pace with the Edmonton Eskimos, who last night defeated Winnipeg by a score of 31-15, and Edmonton is now just 2 points back of the Calgary Stampeders. The Stampeders leading in the West with 18 points. Blake Marshall had a touchdown last night. He now has 19 on the season. Volpe of BC has crossed the goal line 13 times this year as a running back. Robert Mims of Winnipeg, the leading rusher in the CFL, has put it in the end zone 11 times.
But credit Flutie with that pass to Trevathan to set that touchdown up. And Volpe, he's hard to stop when he gets down there. He's got that low center of gravity, and he keeps the legs driving, and he's in for the touchdown. He's given Marshall all he wants on that run for most touchdowns.
Terry Wright on the kickoff return loses the ball, and who's got it? It appears to be the BC Lions as that kickoff bounced away from Terry Wright, and the BC Lions have recovered. Well, John Gregory saw his team get off to such an explosive start here at Iberwin Stadium, but this second quarter has proven costly. That ball bounced right away. Several players had an early shot at it, and it was Mike Marasco who finally came up with it.
Yeah, Mike buried himself way down deep under that whole pile. Got the foot.
First and 10 BC. The Lions at the 39. 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Incomplete. Trevathan wide open. He and his Montana teammate Matt Clark crossed at the 25-yard line, and Trevathan was wide open. He couldn't squeeze the throw from quarterback Doug Flutie.
Well, the coaches use a practice drill. Here's the fumble again on the kickoff return. That ball bounces a lot of different ways, doesn't it?
Second and 10 from the 39. Flutie gets away from Moulton. Throws the football for Christensen. He can't hang on. He had Forrest Irvin. over him.
That's what coaches say, plaster, plaster. They say plaster on the receiver. That's what Corus Irvin did that time. He plastered on his receiver. He ran over with him. Even though Flutie did escape when Jackson blitzed, Flutie gets back out of there. Now watch the plaster by Corus Irvin. He plastered on the receiver, knocked the ball down.
3rd and 10. And Lou Pasaglia will attempt a 46-yard field goal. The kick is good. And the BC Lions are now within a point of the Hamilton Ticats.
I think one of the things that has helped Lou Pasaglia on his range as far as field goals is Caravata is doing the kickoffs. Louis not having to do the kickoffs, that saved his leg. He's been around a long time, and that takes a lot out of you when you have to kick that ball. Julio has really been kind of a nice addition because he is the backup third-string quarterback for the team as well as being a good kicker.
1st and 10 for the Ticats now from the 35-yard line. McPherson continues as the quarterback for the Ticats. Fakes a handoff inside. Gets away from McCready, throws for Champion, and Champion makes the catch, but he's out of bounds.
Well, that was a classic CFL quarterback scramble throwing down the field, and it was very close to being a completion. There was actually a tiptoe right off that sideline.
Finch on the sideline.
Yeah, if it's not, he's got it. Now, sometimes they'll rule that he took him out of bounds, and no, I don't think that would have. That's a good call.
2nd and 10 from the 35-yard line. In this 5-receiver package, the CFL's all-time leading receiver, Rocky DiPietro, is not included. Reggie Johnson, a new addition to the BC Lions, makes the tackle on McPherson. There's a penalty flag on the play. McPherson dropped for a loss back at the 26.
Looked like Bruce Holmes had his hands on somebody that the official threw the flag on. It could be defensive holding. They're trying to get Jamie Morris out on a pass route, and they couldn't do it.
Illegal contact on an eligible receiver. BC number 51. 1st down.
That was the case. Good call, Joe. As the eligible receiver could not get out on his pass route. You see it to the right of your screen.
Well, Bruce is so big and strong. I mean, he not only made contact, he knocked him back 3 yards.
Ticats retain possession at the 45. 1st and 10. McPherson will run. He has some room. He's got another 1st down.
Well, welcome to the CFL. McPherson looks like all those CFL quarterbacks that we've seen this year. And Bob Obilovich looks concerned. He's a smooth athlete. Watch him. There's nobody open, so you do what you do in the CFL. What you do at Syracuse.
A 15-yard run for rookie Don McPherson. 3:04 is the time remaining. Hamilton leads by a single point. Love 'em or lose 'em has been the theme in Hamilton over the past few weeks, and obviously those fans love the Ticats, and they like the play of rookie quarterback Don McPherson from Syracuse. Penalty flag as McPherson is caught by McCready at the midfield stripe. A loss of about 5 yards, but there was a penalty flag.
Derek McCready making the stop. Penalty marker on the play.
A holding call against the Ticats. Let's find out who it was.
Hamilton number 66. Decline.
Miles Gurrell should be big enough that he doesn't have to hold at 6'8", 305 pounds.
Just make him go around you. I mean, why hold? Just make him go all the way around that wide body.
You almost need a map to find your way around Miles.
I know the ball will be gone by the time you get around him.
This time, on the sidelines, Champion makes the catch and keeps his feet inbound before being forced out by Morris Smith.
Well, champion learned from the last time. This is the exact same situation. He's running down. He's going to sell him on a deep route. Now he makes a break the outside, but watch him tiptoe here. Stutter step. Make sure you get your feet inbound. That makes McPherson happy. That's a nice completion.
Now in the 5-receiver package, Rocky DiPietro comes in. Wally Zatilny goes out for Hamilton. Incomplete. It was intended for DiPietro, who reached the milestone in his CFL career last Sunday in a 28-17 loss to Calgary. He caught his 700th career pass.
Those quarterbacks get in the ball game, and nothing looks the same as it did in practice. When you're in a football game, everything's speeded up about 100 times, and that's what McPherson did. He was so hurried, he hurried to throw and got it low.
Ticats are 4 of 6 on second down conversions. This was close to being intercepted by safety Robin Belanger, the pass intended for Steve Brown.
It's a good thing Robin Belanger was there. That ball floated a little bit, but Belanger had to get over there or it would have been a completion.
John Gregory told us yesterday that McPherson is an inconsistent thrower, and I think we've seen some evidence of that in this first half. Dillon now comes in to hold for Paul Osbaldiston on a 44-yard field goal attempt. It's wide, and Jefferson will give up a single point. So with 2:11 remaining in the half, the Hamilton Ticats increase their advantage to 2 points. They lead 15-13, Osbaldiston hooking that one just slightly wide of the upright.
Interesting what's happened in NCAA football or CFA football. We watched the Michigan Wolverines get beat by Florida State. They're having trouble on all kinds of kicking, placement kicks. No, they no longer have a tee. They've moved the goalpost in. People are having a lot of trouble kicking. We're having trouble here.
First and 10 from the 37 line. The point of last scrimmage on that missed field goal attempt. Volpe is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Bailey closed things down on behalf of the Ticats from his defensive end position.
They're talking to the coaches on the sideline about using that timeout to get the ball back. Hamilton wants it back.
Flutie has ideas of his own. He completes the pass for Trevathan, but it appears he's going to be stopped about 1.5 yards shy of a first down, depending on where they mark it. The fans don't like the spot that the linesman gave him.
It looks generous.
The ball close to the 46-yard line, and on third down and inches, the Lions are going out. It appeared as though he had been stopped closer to the 45-yard line. Flutie will keep and dive over the top for a first down, BC.
He was going, he leaped over a single building, or a tall building in a single bound, didn't he?
He got that one without much difficulty. First and 10 now. The Lions are at their own 48-yard line with 1:40 remaining. Flutie operating out of that shotgun formation. He's got Christensen open. Oh! Christensen had the halfback Jackson move up on him, and I think at just the last moment Christensen saw him as Jackson could have really flattened him.
I don't blame him. I think I would have seen him too. Look at what happened. Wow. You got to look at something. I think I'd look at the guy that was challenging my life.
The Lions 6 of 13 on second down conversions. They're facing another at their own 48-yard line. Again, from the shotgun formation. Movement at the line of scrimmage. No flags, however. Flutie on the move, looking for Trevathan. He's got it at the 39.
Flutie completes to Trevathan.
You see this time and time again. Trevathan's working on his defender, but when that ball is underthrown, and this is a call sometimes, to throw the ball behind the defender so that he can come back, and that changes gears on that defender. He can't recover. You just underthrow the ball, come back and get it.
Montana's all-time leading receiver, 6 receptions tonight for 105 yards. Draw play with Volpe. He gets the block from Mills. Another first down to the 25-yard line.
When Volpe gets the football, he's running as fast as he's going to run on the first step. Watch as he takes the ball. I mean, he's already running at full speed.
And he'll be talking at full speed when he joins Scott Oak on Live at the Half. He'll also be talking with the new owner of the Calgary Stampeders, Larry Rickman. 52 seconds remain until halftime. First and 10, BC. Penalty flag. Pass intended for Chris Skinner, incomplete. It would appear this is a holding call against BC. Pete Giftopoulos indicates to Jake Ireland he wants the Lions moved back 10 yards.
Holding. BC number 60.
The holding call is against Jamie Terrace, a converted fullback who is playing guard.
I'm sure Jamie said, when I play fullback, I can get up there, and they don't usually call that, but I'm wide open there at guard. They're not supposed to see that.
First and 20 from the 36-yard line. The fake to Volpe. Screen pass complete to Chris Skinner. Skinner gets inside the 20-yard line. He has a gain of about 16 or 17 yards, and obviously that is a die-hard Hamilton Ticat fan.
We are not alone.
From the shotgun on second down and short. Matt Clark the first down, taking the ball to the 6-yard line. Bobby Dawson was blitzing from his halfback position. Todd Wiseman, the safety, came over to make the tackle on Matt Clark.
That's a hot pattern. They like to throw it away from the direction of safety's trying to support, and Flutie picked it up perfectly, got it off right away.
24 seconds remaining. First and goal from the 7-yard line. The toss to Volpe, loses the football, gets it back. And Corus Irvin brings him down with help from Todd Wiseman.
They put all the receivers to the left, and they just had the split end to the right side. That's a nice throw. On the option play, Volpe just took his eyes off of it, and luckily for him, it just dribbled right back up to him. Like basketball, he's on the field.
16 seconds remaining in the half. Flutie throwing quickly to the end zone. This is a touchdown to Brother Darren, but there is also a penalty flag.
Last week they called a pick in the same situation. A screen. You can't pick the defenders and cross your receivers.
Forward pass interference. Hamilton number 20. Decline. Touchdown.
That's not the case this time. The interference against Gary Wilkerson playing the right corner. And the touchdown stands as the Flutie brothers combine again.
Flutie does a nice job. He's getting lassoed around the neck, but he breaks back to the inside, gets his face mask pulled down. I mean, they beat him up. They mugged him on that play, and he still caught it for a touchdown.
Lou Pasaglia adds the point after as the BC Lions take the lead for the first time in the football game. And Pasaglia has now stretched his record for consecutive converts to 378 as Darren Flutie accepts congratulations for his second touchdown of the year. He had one last week in a 49-47 loss to the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
As Doug drops out, he's got good pass protection, knows that it's going to break up soon. He has to get the football there. Officials alertly saw Flutie getting grabbed around the head, the face mask, and whatever else was sticking out.
It's taken a little while for the Lions to get their offense in gear tonight, but in the second quarter, they have stormed back to move ahead of the Hamilton Ticats by 5 points with 7 seconds remaining. Nick Mazzoli picks up the ball. Gets away from Jefferson, but can't escape. He bounces him out of bounds with 1 second remaining.
John Hockey breaking the stop.
Mazzoli, the #1 draft choice of the Hamilton Ticats this year, attempted to catch on with the Seattle Seahawks and joined the Ticats in August. An outstanding receiver at Simon Fraser University, Todd Dillon, who started the football game, returns at quarterback for Hamilton. This should be the final play of the opening half. Dillon throws deep for the sidelines, out of bounds and well over the head of intended receiver Tony Champion. And that is the final play of the first half, with the BC Lions heading to the dressing room leading by 5. Stay tuned for Live at the Half.
American recruits come and go in the CFL, but John Volpe didn't go. He is stuck with the BC Lions in a big way. The Stanford engineering graduate engineers his way through defenses like a train. Volpe is a power-packed 5'7", 195 pounds, and a throwback to the old but reliable style of running when backs went north to south in a straight line, no matter who was in the way. And with 5.5 games to go, 1,000-yard season's a virtual certainty for John Volpe. John, first things first, am I beating a dead horse here, or do your teammates ever refer to you as Woody?
I've never heard of that before. Who's Woody anyway?
You look a whole lot like Woody Harrelson, the bartender on Cheers. Come on, play along here.
I might have gotten a few Woody times, but I don't think I look like him.
Hey, thanks for indulging me in that bit of buffoonery. I'm not sure you want to be yucking it up halfway through a tough ball game. Smaller running backs have made it in the NFL, but many more of them have made it up here in the CFL. Did you think a lot about this league in your playing days at Stanford?
Well, I knew it was always an option and possibility. If I didn't make an NFL, I knew I wanted to play somewhere, and, you know, CFL is fine for me right now. I'm having a lot of fun.
Do you ever marvel at the ability of Doug Flutie to make things happen out there and to get the ball to you on occasion?
Yeah, that's what happened tonight, too. He, when we were down by a few touchdowns there, he said, I'm going to have to start rolling around out back there and make something happen, and he did that.
Comment on the first half, the rally that's got you guys in front, and maybe describe your touchdown for us if you could.
That was just a 43 ISO I had. You know, basically my line just had a good surge, and I had 2 blocking backs in front of me, and I just followed them.
And here it is. This is you in typical north to south form.
Yeah, I barely got it over right there, so got kind of lucky.
This kind of rally that we've seen here late in the half, you guys wait till late in the game to execute. You've done it now in the first half. Is that a good sign?
Yeah, it's better than the second half, that's for sure, but we got to start doing it from start of the whistle, and we let them get up on us, and, you know, they're a tough ball team, especially defensively, and they showed some good offense there and burned us a few times, so we got to just stay tough and start maybe running the ball a little more in the second half.
Ticats offense have you shaking your heads early in this game, because they were awesome in the first quarter.
Yeah, I think we made a few corrections in the secondary, and I think we got it solved, but yeah, they did scare us a little bit.
John, congratulations on an outstanding season to this point. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Week 12 in the CFL marks the 2/3 way of the regular season. It began last night at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. Here's a précis of what happened between the Eskimos and the Bombers. Eskimo starting quarterback Warren Jones was relieved in the second half by former Bomber Tom Mickey, and he hit Craig Ellis with a touchdown pass. Edmonton 15-4. The Bomber offense was ineffective. Tom Burgess threw 4 interceptions, but Mickey was on the money, combining with Jim Sandusky to give the Eskimos a 24-7 third-quarter lead on the way to a 31-15 victory. The Edmonton head coach was happy with how his team fared without Tracy Ham.
I thought our offensive line tonight did a good job because we know we're going to get a lot of heat. When you play Winnipeg, you're going to get heat. And I thought they met the challenge well. I thought the defense played well. And I think that the players realized it was kind of an important game for them. And they know Tracy will be back next week, but still to win 2 out of 3, we're happy.
And as a result of the win, the Eskimos are once again within 2 points of the first-place Stampeders in the West. Stay with us when Live at the Half returns. We'll talk to a man who's put money on the line in Calgary. It is brisk, but it's beach night in Hamilton. There are vintage cars, vintage motorcycles on the field, but it was a vintage rally by the Lions that has them in front by 5 at halftime. Well, this week in Calgary, 46 years of private ownership of the Stampeders came to an end when Larry Rickman's purchase of the team was confirmed by outgoing chairman of the board, Don Park. The purchase remains to be approved by the shareholders, and they're expected to do that. And so now Larry Rickman joins us from Calgary as the owner designate of the Calgary Stampeders. Welcome, Larry.
Thank you.
Well, Larry, this is deal by the sound of it. You've put down $1.5 million to buy the team. There's interim financing involved. You've guaranteed the government debt of $3.5 million. What is the total value?
Well, really, I would have to say that it's a $3 million cash package. It's going to be about $2.1 million to pay off the balance of the debt for the 1991 season, and about $1 million to get going into 1992. The government debt will be repaid out of future profits.
The interesting thing I think about your purchase of the team is that the league or the Stampeders didn't come hat in hand to you. You went to them and you really sold yourself to the CFL. You must think there's money to be made in this league.
I do. I think that we're at the end of a very difficult cycle. I think that Calgary was just a victim of this very difficult CFL cycle that we've been in, and I think that things are at the bottom. I think it's always darkest just before the dawn, and I think that we're turning into an amazing era, and I think 1992 is going to prove that.
Have you done this out of a sense of community responsibility, or is it strictly business?
That's part of the equation. This is a 46-year-old legacy, and growing up here, I've always been a Stamps fan. To think that this baton was about to fall and not get passed on was very, very scary. So I stepped up not only from a community perspective, but also from a business perspective.
You don't look any older than your 36 years, to be sure, and the folks at home are going to be saying, where does he get his money? I understand a lot of it comes from your involvement in that audio innovation called Q-Sound.
Well, that's part of it. I'm fortunate to have several businesses, and they're currently profitable, so we'll use those profits and help us out with the stamps here.
Larry, will you be a hands-on owner, or are you going to leave the running of the team to the front office that's in place there right now?
Well, I think all the football operations stay exactly the way they are currently. Norm Kwong and Wally Buono and his coaching staff are doing an amazing job. So football side of things is out for me. I'll be very hands-on from the marketing, from the liaison with the CFL, to making sure that this team is run like a business and is one of the stronger teams in the league.
Is 8 teams in the country of Canada enough for you, or have you bought this team with the thought in mind of having more, perhaps in the States someday? What are your thoughts on expansion?
I think expansion will eventually happen. What I'd like to see, though, is Canada get cleaned up first, whether we have 6 teams, whether we have 8, or whether we have 9. I think Canada's got to get itself into shape, and I think that's going to happen in the coming months. And I think that the CFL will be taking some significant changes. And then I think we can look to the U.S. teams to be coming on board something that's already positive, that's already winning.
Quickly, Larry, before you go, when will you be active as the owner team? Do you expect the approval of the shareholders to be automatic?
Yes, we do, and I expect to take official possession October 24th. But again, that's subject to shareholder approval.
Larry Rickman, thanks for your time. Congratulations on what appears to be a certain purchase of the Stampeders.
Thanks, Scott.
And we should point out the Stampeders play in Saskatchewan on Sunday afternoon, and we're halfway through this game at Iberwin Stadium between the Ticats and the BC Lions. Here is Don Whitman with Joe Galat.
Scott, the most flamboyant owner in the CFL is Murray Pezim of the BC Lions. He has to be pleased the way his Lions came back in the second quarter to take a 20-15 lead. One of the key players for the Lions in that second quarter was receiver Mike Trevathan.
Well, Trevathan's been having a great ball game, but let's not kid anybody. The guy who makes it happen is the magic flute, Doug Flutie. He did a great job avoiding the rush. What he had to do was to get something going. They were really not having much happening, and all of a sudden, Flutie, about midfield, work things. You see Doug set up. He takes a look downfield, makes one step to the side, and when he throws it to Trevathan, the ball is a little bit underthrown. Trevathan comes back against Bobby Douglas, catches the football, and if it's not for Todd Wiseman, he's in for the score, but it did set up the touchdown.
6 receptions in the opening half for 105 yards for Mike Trevathan. The BC Lions lead by 5 as we prepare for the second half.
Normally number 2, but the Toronto Argonauts lose nothing with Ricky Foggy as their starting quarterback. Long, lean receiver David Williams is a favorite target. Foggy himself may be a favorite target of Ottawa Rough Rider linebacker Brian Bonner, while Anthony Drawhorn will attempt to give his team good field when Toronto plays at Ottawa tomorrow afternoon on the CFL on CBC.
There are vintage automobiles leaving the field at Ivor Wynne Stadium as we get ready to start the second half. And for the first 15 minutes of the football game, it was vintage Hamilton Ticat football, something that fans in the Steel Town have not seen for most of this season, as they struck very quickly, scoring 2 touchdowns on their first 2 possessions, 2 key strikes from Todd Dillon to Ken Abraire. The first just 1:11 into the game, the second 5:24 into the game. But the BC Lions took control in the second quarter, and statistically they now have the advantage. 285 net yards to 250 for the Ticats, and in time of possession they've had the ball 30 seconds longer, and they lead by 5 points.
Jake Ireland just penalized Hamilton for delay of game because their halftime show went over. And
John Gregory is not pleased with that, but that is the rule. And while Gregory has no control of the halftime show, his team pays the price for the show running over time.
That's what splits the marketing department and the football department. Penalties after halftime. Fans aren't very happy either.
Osbaldiston kicking off to start the second half. Lorenzo Graham fumbles the football, and he got it in time with 3 Hamilton Ticats zeroing in on him. There was also a penalty flag in the play, a 48-yard kickoff by Paul Osbaldiston. An illegal block against the BC Lions, and that will move the ball back towards the BC goal line.
Illegal block. BC number 35. First down.
Paul Wetmore guilty of the illegal block. It's 1st and 10 BC from the 24.
Well, Flutie gets another test. Doug Flutie, when you're backed up in your own goal line, that's a mark of a quarterback. When you get the ball late in the game and score, that's a mark of a great quarterback.
Doug Flutie this year should rewrite the CFL record book for passing yardage. Chris Skinner is the ball carrier up to the 29-yard line. Bobby Dawson made the tackle. Stu Hill and Bruce Holmes receiving some instructions before they return to the football in a defensive capacity, and they hope that won't be for a while as the offense has the football at the 29-yard line. The toss to Volpe. He's got some blocks outside. He fumbled the football. I think the BC Lions got it back. Darren Flutie pounced on that loose ball. It will be close to a first down. Perhaps close enough to gamble.
You always see the good athletes come up with the ball. I mean, here's a situation that could have been a catastrophe. had they fumbled the ball and Hamilton recovered, but there's Darren Flutie to come up with the fumble recovery. He's got a little bit of that Flutie magic in him, doesn't he?
The measurement reveals that the Lions do have a first down. And let's take a look at that most recent play, the fumble by Volpe, the recovery by Darren Flutie.
He's very alert.
First and 10, and Trevathan, trying to get into his pattern, stumbled and almost caused some problems for Doug Flutie before he gave the ball to Volpe. And Trevathan said, "Who, me?"
Well, you've seen this happen sometimes on a shotgun formation. The guy comes across the formation, stumbles, gets in front of the center, and they cause a fumble. But he got out of the way this time.
He didn't worry about doing anything other than getting out of the way of quarterback Doug Flutie. First and 10 on the fine run by Volpe. The ball is at the 48-yard line. The fake to Volpe. Flutie throws, and brother Darren could not hang on.
I think Flutie had to throw it fast. He was being rushed, and he had to let it go, and he put a little more velocity on it than he wanted to.
Doug Flutie 16 of 21 in the first half for 217 yards. He has 4,319 yards in just 12 games. He's averaging 360 yards. And he should break Warren Moon's record, established in 1983 on October 12th when BC plays Edmonton, if he continues at that pace of 360 a game average. Matt Clark on the receiving end of the Flutie throw. There's a penalty flag on the play.
He got them jumping off sides. Flutie went with the long count. Got Hamilton jumping. I wonder how many fish hooks he's had in all of that yardage.
He has had a few.
Offside. Hamilton, number 92. Repeat second down.
The offside penalty makes it 2nd and 5. The ball is at the 53-yard line. Coach John Gregg said Doug Flutie is really exciting to watch play, except when you're the team playing against him. Wide open, Chris Skinner. He couldn't get to the throw.
See, Doug took something off of that ball so that Skinner could get it, and it was just inches away. But he knew what happened. They caught him in the blitz. They didn't have anybody on Skinner, so he tried to loft it up. Almost had a touchdown. Watch Flutie take something off the ball here. He's just trying to hold it back. Skinner looked like he didn't really believe it. If he had gone all out, I think he'd have had it.
So the offensive unit heads to the bench as Lou Pasaglia comes into the ball game to kick on 3rd down from his own 38-yard line. Just one man back, and that is Nick Mazzoli. He's chased back to his own 5 with a good kick by Pasaglia. And Mazzoli won't get beyond the 15. A return of 10 yards after a 2-yard kick. Mike Marasco is downfield to make the tackle. The Ticats are 1st and 10 from their own 15-yard line, and they revert to what they gave us to start the football game. Todd Dillon at quarterback, taking over from Don McPherson, who played for most of the 2nd quarter. Todd Dillon gives it out to Jamie Morris. He's got a first down to the 30.
That's another 5-receiver pattern, and what they did is they sent the ball out in the flat, and then Morris just outruns people who are trying to react up to the ball. It's just a dump off to Morris, but they've cleared the route with 3 receivers downfield.
Back to the live action from the 30, 1st and 10. Draw play with Morris.
Morris, the ball carrier.
He is stopped after a gain of about 2 yards. McCready was there to make the tackle. John Gregory indicated that his offensive unit would be more productive in this game than they were on the weekend in a 28-17 loss to Calgary last Sunday. Bob Wabilovich would like to see his team score the same number of points they did to the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but of course hold Hamilton to points. Sideline pattern. The catch is made by Brown, his first catch of the night, and that will be a first down.
Pass complete to Steve Brown. The pass by Jefferson.
A gain of 13 yards on the pass to Brown.
Well, Dillon knows he's got Steve Brown out there one-on-one with Jefferson. And what he did, he just made a nice timing pattern to the outcut.
Brown goes wide left. 3 receivers come out to the right. Morris will lose yards. He's tackled by Poe.
On the top.
Keith Poe came upfield, and they were trying to run the counter play. There was just no place to go. I mean, Poe stopped him right in his tracks. Jamie had a chance if he could have gotten around that first defender.
Dale Sanderson, the injured player. He'll be replaced by Scott Douglas. He has to go out for a minimum 3 plays.
Dale Sanderson taken up on the play.
And now Scott Douglas has to adjust his sweater because he is one of those who wears a double number. He is an eligible receiver on certain situations, and he now has to take off the number 75 he wears, and he goes out wearing number 57.
The reason they wear that 75 is when they have short yardage situations, the backup offensive linemen have to have eligible numbers to play on the ends of the line.
Wouldn't it be easier, 75, 57, just turn the sweater inside out?
They should have some Velcro, and you could just take them and rip them off and change their sides. Now that guy, that manager, has to stand there and hold number 75 for the rest of the game until they have a yardage situation. He's got to run over, put the jersey on, run back out, play tight end, catch a pass, and then come back in and snap the football. That's going to be a hard day. Sanderson will be back. He's a tough guy, one of the better centers in the league.
He was a number 4 draft pick in 1985. He's in his 6th year in the Canadian Football League. He played at the University of Tennessee.
There aren't a lot of Canadians playing for the University of Tennessee, but Sanderson left his mark down there. They know he's one of those good, tough football players, sort of like Schultz did at Arizona.
2nd and 12. Dillon throws to the sideline. There's a penalty flag. Tony Champion in the intended receiver. And I think initially the flag may have been the result of Dillon crossing the line of scrimmage when he threw the football. It's an illegal forward pass. There could also be an interference call. There were 2 penalty flags on the play, and referee Jake Ireland is now going to sort them out, and then he'll explain them to us.
Illegally thrown forward pass, Hamilton number 10. Illegal participation, Hamilton number 87. Both are declined. 3rd down.
The illegal participation would have been Champion going out of bounds in running his pattern, then coming back onto the field of play, attempting to make the catch.
And he wasn't forced out of bounds. Had he been forced out by a defender, that's a different story.
The ball bounces to Trevathan. Trevathan working to the outside, trying to stay in bounds, but is forced out by Darrell Harley after a 20-yard return. 9:30 remains in the 3rd quarter.
You Call It, brought to you by Bell, answering your call. The BC Lions have a first down deep inside Edmonton territory. A touchdown will win it, but 2 tries fail to get the ball in the end zone. 3rd down Lions. You call it.
Take some out of office supplies. Still not enough. We gotta cut the carbs. Oh, I love that car. Can't we? There's nothing we can do about those costs. Are you sure?
Advantage, Watts, and Teleplus. Bell has all kinds of long-distance discount packages. Call us and save.
Nice car. Thanks. Company car. You know, my company.
Long-distance business sense from Bell.
Edmonton's 2-yard line, quarterback Roy DeWalt looks for a familiar pair of hands. Jim Zandusky makes the catch, and BC gets the win.
Yes, the song as we know it means it's time for us to beat our chests over the $30 GST-included bowling trophy and the pizza shirt that we award to the player who accumulates the most yardage on kickoff and punt returns. It's the Return to Sender Award, mainly because we couldn't think of another name for it. Now, Gizmo Williams told me last week he would be happy to finish in second place because he's seen the shirt, but bad news for the Giz. A great game last night means he's overtaken Willis Jaycox for the lead. The only contender in this game is BC's Lorenzo Graham. He leads the league in kickoff returns, but doesn't get to run back punts. And if you don't do both, you're in trouble in this return to sender competition, Don.
Darren Flutie had 336 all-purpose last week against Saskatchewan, but he hasn't had enough work to be a contender for that prize trophy. John Volpe, the ball carrier, and Volpe has now moved into the number 2 position in CFL rushing. He has moved ahead of Reggie Barnes of Ottawa and is closing in on 1,000 rushing yards.
That's a sprint draw. What you see Flutie doing, runs a sprint draw, and as he breaks back to the outside, Moulton tries to come in, make the hit. Also, Bobby Dawson helped out. That's a nice series because Flutie is so effective running with the football, and then he just slips the football over to Volpe, and he's gone.
Moulton is the injured player. He, in attempting to make the tackle on Volpe, may have got twisted around as he was hit by the BC. Back on the sidelines now. Let's bring in Scott O.
All right, Don, this falls into the category of where are they now, and Leon Bright, who had some great years at the line, 78 to 81 to be specific, is at this game tonight, all the way up here from Orlando to see your old team play. How far removed from the game of football are you?
Not very far there. You know, I keep up with the teams pretty much.
You last played when, 1985?
85 when I last played there. I've been out now 5 years, and I want to get back into it at coaching, that is, not playing.
85, of course, was with Tampa Bay in the NFL. Not many guys left on the team from when you were with the Lions, Leon.
Not many at all. We got Louis Passaglio. He's still here. He's going to be here when the team folds, probably. We got Joe Pawpaw.
Hey, this team's not folding. Don't say that, but anyway.
Joe Pawpaw, he's a coach now, you know, and I had a pretty good visit with the guys today.
Yeah, I know they were all delighted to see you, and it is good to see you again, Leon. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Don?
Leon Bright, an outstanding performer of another era in the Canadian Football League. And they are working on John Moulton, who is lying on the field at about the 50-yard line. 20-15 is the score. The BC Lions leading the Hamilton Ticats with 9:05 remaining in this third quarter.
The sprint draw series that we talked about, the quarterback here takes the ball. Volpe will take it. He'll get a nice block, taking Gastopoulos from the center all the way beyond the play, and then he breaks it. But when Moulton comes over, he hits with his head to the side, and that's how he gets the injury. 42, Moulton comes over. Volpe makes the cut off of Ian Sinclair's block, but watch 42 come in there and really take it on the head. That's hard running by Volpe, and unfortunately, you always tell a linebacker to get your head in front of the ball carrier and get your tail behind you. Unfortunately for Moulton, he just got out there and got his head, and that was the only thing that stopped Volpe was his head.
Moulton is also out of the University of Akron, the same as Brian Hilk, and they are two new additions to this Hamilton defensive unit this year. Volpe, with that run, now has 75 yards for the game. He came in with 868 yards.
Well, that's good to see. Good to see him get up. You know, you get a lot of guys that are hurt, but you don't ever want to see many guys get injured. There's a difference.
9:05 remains in the third quarter.
Compared to how serious it looked, the news on John Moulton is good. Basically what he has is a burner or a pinched nerve in the neck area. His right arm has gone dead. If he gets the feeling back in it, he could be back in this game, Don.
In the meantime, Mark Dennis has taken his spot at a linebacking position. 2nd and 1 for the BC Lions. And Chris Skinner gets a first down, loses the football, and it's picked up by the Ticats.
Chris Skinner, ball carrier.
Boy, it's a big play. That's one of those Woody Hayes off-tackle plays with the lead back. Safest play in football. Unfortunately, Skinner fumbled. And there's Bobby Dawson.
Vernon Maxwell put the hit on Chris Skinner, and Bob Dawson picked up the loose football, and the Ticats have it 1st and 10 at the 44.
Just a reverse pivot, gives to the fullback. Skinner made the cutback, and he got pounded.
Todd Dillon throws, intended for Champion, incomplete. 2nd and 10, Hamilton from the BC 44.
Champion did everything right. He ran a nice pass route. He broke across the middle. He's going for a touchdown, but he didn't bring the football with him. Keep your eyes on the ball so you put it away.
Second and 10, the ball at the 44. I believe, and that's the reason John Gregory is smiling, the official called it a completion and a fumble, but he was overruled by the head man, Jake Ireland. Dillon throws over the middle for Zatilny. First down to the 19. A gain of 25 for Wally Zatilny, a similar pattern to the one that produced 2 touchdowns to Ken Abrera.
This is the dueling slot backs. Those slot backs going right down the seam. That's a John Gregory signature trademark play. And Zatilny just pulled it in over his shoulder. That's not an easy catch when it comes over your shoulder.
1st and 10, Hamilton. The ball is at the 19. Todd Dillon looking for Ken Abrera. It's incomplete. It will be 2nd and 10.
Well, they're going into this game with only 5 pass patterns. And we've seen a few of them being repeated and being repeated successfully. And they have a good way of coming underneath that slot's going deep. Watch for that on this play.
As Gregory told us, the number of patterns you have is not as important as to whether you run them properly. Included in Dillon's totals, 2 touchdown strikes of 40 and 65 yards. Abrera is the man who was on the receiving end of both of those in the first quarter. He was the target again. Abrera had to reach behind him. There is also a penalty flag in the play, and it's against the BC Lions. Much to the chagrin of Bob Obilovich, the head coach of the Lions.
Outside. BC number 93. Repeat 2nd down.
Reggie Johnson, the newly acquired defensive end, was offside. So they get another shot at it. It's 2nd and 5. Dillon throws for what will be very close to the first down to Wally Zatilny. If he doesn't have it, it's close enough that I'm sure they will gamble.
Well, that offside penalty had to be on alignment because they didn't move. And a new player like Reggie Johnson coming in, he doesn't know where to line up. He's got to be a yard off the football.
Measurement to determine whether or not the Ticats have a first down. They don't. But they'll be going after it on 3rd down just inside the 10-yard line. Only a couple of inches away from a first down as they try to take advantage of the fumble by Chris Skinner and convert it into a touchdown and regain the lead they enjoyed for most of the first half.
Was number 75 in there? Did he change his jersey?
Short yardage unit, Todd Dillon keeps. He had to struggle, but does get the first down.
Don't you see that a lot, Don? Here they are. They stopped them on 2nd down, and then they had the offside penalty, which gave Hamilton an opportunity. And Dillon, he's playing a good ball game tonight. Remember those statistics. He hasn't played in the 2nd quarter, or only played 3 quarters. This is 3rd quarter now. Watch the 2 lines. Good surge. I mean, they're driving people back out of there, and Dillon's smart enough to get back over the pile.
First and goal from the 8-yard line. Dillon put all his numbers on the board in the first quarter. He was looking for Ken Abrere. It will be second and goal from the 8.
That was a hot pattern, and Abrere didn't look for the ball. That really hangs the quarterback up. You got to look for that football when they're blitzing.
He was running the hot pattern when he saw the pressure coming from the BC Lions. 5:28 remaining in the third quarter. Ticats have just not had much of a rushing offense during the course of the season, as that statistic confirms. This pass is behind Mazzoli, a similar play to the previous play, so it's third and goal from the 8-yard line.
Now, Dillon wanted to get that hide pattern. That's what you call a hide, because they clear with the two inside receivers. The outside guy comes underneath, but it was behind him.
It was there, and Dillon threw the ball behind the receiver, and he is unhappy.
Now, Dillon didn't like that at all, because he got his receiver bumped, and he would have gone to Abrere first.
Paul Osbaldiston with a field goal attempt from the 50, and it is good. So the Ticats move within 2 points of the BC Lions with 4:57 remaining in the third quarter. And the BC Lions hoping to move within 2 points of the Western Division leading Calgary Stampeders with a victory tonight, and keep pace with the Edmonton Eskimos, who last night defeated the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 31-15. Tomorrow, of course, the Calgary Stampeders have an opportunity to move further ahead when they take on the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And tomorrow will be at Lansdowne Park in Ottawa as the Roughriders entertain the Toronto Argonauts. The Argos leading the Eastern Division with 16 points, 2 ahead of Winnipeg, and Ottawa 4 back of the Blue Bombers. Ottawa had a chance to move into a tie with Winnipeg for second place last Sunday, but with Tom Burgess throwing 5 touchdown passes, they were hammered by a score of 40-8. Lorenzo Graham takes the ball at his 15-yard line. Well, John Moulton is obviously all right. He was in there to really drill Lorenzo Graham, a 15-yard run back, before he was stopped in his tracks at the 30-yard line.
Now, that's a hit. When you knock the man backwards that you tackled, that's a good hit.
Terry Wright was also involved in the tackle, and he accepts congratulations from his teammates as he heads off to the sidelines.
Watch the bounce. Boom. Take back.
Actually, it was Wright who forced Lorenzo Graham into John Moulton. First and 10 BC from the 30-yard line. The fake to Volpe. The pass is complete to Chris Skinner, and Chris Skinner, under a head of steam, strikes the 50-yard line. A gain of 20.
Middle screen was set up perfectly by Flutie. That's what Doug Flutie does so well. He comes off the play-action pass, really draws the defenders into him, and then dumps it off to Skinner, and Skinner shows a lot of determination. He's trying to make up for the fumble, and he did on that play.
Another injured Hamilton Ticat. Watching the game with a great deal of interest this evening is former Hamilton Ticat head coach Al Bruno. His wife Marie also taking tonight's game. Al Bruno is the Eastern Scout for the Toronto Argonauts. Of course, Al Bruno, in his playing career, played with the Argos.
Al was a personnel director before he coached, so he knows what he's doing when he's doing some scouting, but I think Marie is the brains of that outfit.
That's usually the case, isn't it?
Yes, we talked to her before the ball game, and she's got everything figured out. but we can't tell you who she's predicting to win.
Bob Obilovich would like to figure things out. Obi, in his first game as BC coach last year, was here at Iverwin Stadium on September 22nd. And the BC Lions defeated Hamilton 34-4. And in the 7 games he coached last year, the Lions won 4 and lost 3. Jackson, the inside halfback, the player, and that means Terry Wright will come into the football game in his place. As he makes his way to the sidelines, let's go down there and join Scotto.
Dom, we want to remind our audience of the special edition of Sports Weekend tomorrow night following late local news, the Spanish Grand Prix from Barcelona. The highlight of it could see Ayrton Senna clinch another World Driving Championship. All he has to do is finish ahead of Nigel Mansell to become world champion once again.
First and 10 BC from the 49-yard line. Flutie to the sidelines, and he and his receiver got their pattern mixed up. It was intended for Volpe, who cut back into the middle of the field.
We talked to Todd Wiseman yesterday, and he said one of the things that he had trouble with on Flutie was that you never know where he's going to throw the football. He never looks intentionally one direction, always looking off the receivers, but when that ball was let go, Wiseman had a good chance at it.
Last year, I think Flutie was purely a playground type of quarterback in the CFL. Now he is certainly much more structured. Matt Clark is open for a first down, loses the football. Hamilton's got it.
That's the tough thing for Doug Flutie. He delivered the football to Matt Clark, and the ball is fumbled. You alluded to last year with Flutie. One of the things that you know about a pocket-sized quarterback, you can't leave him in the pocket. That's a nice pass, good reception. That ball just came loose.
Maxwell has played a solid game defensively for the Ticats tonight, and he was the man who recovered the football.
There's the triple team situation on the defensive line.
The pass complete to Tony Champion. This is a Hamilton first down. Depending on where they give him a spot, I may have been premature in calling it a first down, but with the ball being positioned at the 51, it is indeed a first down Hamilton.
You know, Doug Flutie's in frustration. You see him there with the warm-up jacket on. He's got to keep the arm warm. It's getting to be football weather now, Don. You sting out there, and the fumbles usually occur when there's a little briskness in the air.
Jamie Morris trying to bounce off a couple of tacklers, but he can't escape Stuart Hill.
He had as much trouble, almost as much trouble getting off of his own blockers as he did the tacklers. Watch Morris. He runs into first Gurrell. Now he tries to break away from Gurrell, and he's running in. Harley, he's having a heck of a time getting through his own blockers.
Then he bumped into and Stu Hill was there to say thank you very much. He dropped him for a 2-yard loss. Second and 12. Todd Dillon's in trouble. He'll try and run, but he won't get the first down. He's stopped at the 46-yard line. Dillon is not the running quarterback, as are so many others in the CFL. Tim Jackson is having his right ankle retaped by veteran trainer Ray Jones. And
that
we
means
understand he'll be back.
Now, that was an important gain of about 5 yards. They're going to go for the field goal now, and had Dillon not run upfield, they wouldn't have been in field goal range, but Osbaldiston has kicked a 52-yarder this year, so I think he's well within range. Actually had a 56-yarder, was his longest of the year.
This will be a 53-yard field goal attempt for Paul Osbaldiston to put Hamilton in the lead. It's short. Norman Jefferson starts from the goal area and brings it back close to the 20-yard line. 1:31 is the time remaining in the third quarter as the Lions cling to their 2-point advantage. First and 10 for the Lions. They are now at the 20-yard line. Darren Flutie comes wide left. Ryan Hansen is in at fullback, replacing Chris Skinner. And Volpe is the ball carrier following Ryan Hansen's lead block. He picks up a couple of yards. Some retaping being done to Lorenzo Graham. They may also be checking his rib area.
This is the way Volpe loves to run. He likes to get those shoulders over his knees and just run right through people. He runs right through arms and legs.
He picked up 4. It's 2nd and 6, BC. Pattern over to the sideline intended for Christensen, who's being covered by Forrest Irvin. And Christensen protests to the official that he was interfered with, but there was no flag. 34 seconds, the time remaining in the third quarter here at Ivor Wynne Stadium. Bob Obilovich has his BC Lions in front, 20-18.
Big play by the defense. They had Tim Jackson out of there, and they held him on that surge. That's a big play. They're going to get good field position coming out.
One man back for this third down punt. Mazzoli waits for it at the 40. He loses the football. BC claim they've got it, and the officials confirm it. Bruce Holmes is the man who picked up the ball after Mazzoli, in trying to get additional yardage, in twisting and turning, had the ball knocked out of his grasp.
Now, going down the field to show you what it's like, 33 trying to get down to cover, and watch 33 jump on top of 33. For 39, that's Clark. They're having a little bit of a confrontation. It seems like they're keeping people on Clark.
From the 51, Flutie steps up. He'll throw. He's got his brother Darren open. And the BC Lions have another first down at the 32. Brian Hill came over to make the tackle. Gregory said that while Flutie is more structured this year, once blocking breaks down, he can make things happen, and that's exactly what he did on that play.
That's when he's effective. He does the best job when the blocking does break down. It's patented Doug Flutie.
And that's the end of the third quarter.
Ladies and gentlemen, once more.
Flutie to Flutie on the final play of the third quarter, a combination that puts the BC Lions in scoring position. And now the Lions operate from the shotgun formation. 1st and 10 to start the fourth quarter at the 33-yard line. There's a penalty flag. The pass is complete to Darren Flutie, and there appeared to be premature movement on the part of the Hamilton Ticats at the line of scrimmage.
Of course, Irvin came in on the blitz. And they're calling it against the offense. I thought they were offsides. The Hamilton defense, they had a halfback blitz on. I thought for sure it was offsides. There was a reason he was offsides.
That will wipe out the gain, and statistically, this is what we have witnessed through 3 quarters of play. 373 net yards for the BC Lions. 3 turnovers by each side. It hasn't been the tidiest game of the year. The procedure call against Rocco Romano. It's now 1st and 15. The ball moves back to the 38-yard line. Flutie gets away from Hill. Turns him inside out as he comes back the other way.
That's the fish hook.
And he picked up additional yardage as he put that stutter step on Pete Giftopoulos on the sidelines and stayed inbounds and went for about 5 more.
A while back we talked about the Doug Flutie fish hook. Well, this isn't the fish hook yet. He starts over to this side. There goes the fish hook. You see him come around. Looks like a hook. and he just keeps coming, and he picks up blockers, and he's going down the field. He's looking downfield. Nobody knows what he's going to do, and nobody still knows what he's going to do because he keeps coming around and makes about 7 more yards.
And give Hilt some credit as he got back in the play to make the tackle.
I'm glad I don't have to know what he's going to do.
Hamilton showing blitz. Flutie looking for Darren Flutie, incomplete. He was being covered by Wilkerson. Todd Wiseman, the safety, was blitzing and put pressure on Doug Flutie.
There's Darren, and he sees Doug in trouble, so he makes his break, but look where the ball is. He's got to lay out for it. Had a chance.
Third and 4. The ball is at the 27-yard line. Lou Pasaglia will be attempting a field goal of 34 yards. It's good as the BC Lions increase their lead to 5 points. Scott?
Well, Don, the Ticat defense containing Doug Flutie is, of course, a major issue in the fourth quarter with the game so close. They'll do it now without Tim Jackson. They were hoping he could come back. They have retaped his ankle, now taken the tape off, and it's far too tender for him to return. If you're wondering why the Ticat rush may have been weakened late in the first half, it's because Mark Mraz, defensive lineman, they're pretty pleased with her in Hamilton, has suffered a strained rotator cuff, and he will not be back in this game as well. So it's been a tough night for the Ticat defense.
Well, that is a beautiful bit of color. Is it worth doing a telestrator on, Joe, and going to our playbook and some
we could show the man in the moon there, I think.
Mazzoli on the return gets away and carries on, running the ball out to the 49-yard line. We remind you that this program is copyrighted and is strictly for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction, retransmission, exhibition, or distribution in whole or in part without the express written consent of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation is strictly prohibited.
Great second effort by Mazzoli. He broke loose after being held. Made about 5-7 more yards.
A reverse with Mazzoli, trying to utilize his speed. But he runs out of room over on the far side of the field.
You've got to have courage to run a reverse because in this stadium, if there's no place to go, they'll knock you right up into the wall.
Once you cross that white line, there isn't a great deal of room from the playing field to the wall that sits in front of the stands on either side of the field. Canavere has another first down to the 43.
Oh, a nice play right in the seam again. That's that play where they run the slot backs down the seam, and all Dillon does is read the free safety and try to throw off of it. Either slot back getting an inside go will get the football. Avera got the inside go for a nice game.
Avera now has 4 receptions for 121 yards. Coming into the game, he only had 207 yards on 16 catches. Jamie Morris, the running back, fights his way to the 36-yard line. Bruce Holmes was there to make the tackle. 12:10 is the time remaining in the football game. 23-18. The BC Lions lead Hamilton. The Ticats with a record of 1-11. They still have slim hopes of catching a playoff spot in the East. Canavere got turned around as he attempted to run his pattern on third down, and John Gregory makes the coaching decision. He sends out the field goal unit.
They just haven't been able to execute that play. That pass in the flat to Rivera, that's the second time they've tried to go to it on second down in short yardage. It's been extremely short yardage. They just can't get it done out into the flat.
A 40-yard field goal attempt by Paul Osbaldiston. The kick is good. And once again, we have a 2-point game at Ivor Wynne Stadium with 11:36 remaining in the game.
The Hamilton Tiger-Cats are
Shaping Canada's future together.
Sometimes you have a little problem with your mascot. As he comes down, he makes a cut to the left, but has a problem with the goalpost. He's making his turn. He runs the post cut, and the post cut right into the post.
And that is a post pattern for the Hamilton Ticat mascot.
It staggered him a little bit.
The Ticats kicking off following that Osbaldiston field goal. Darren Flutie on the kickoff return, and this runback draws a penalty flag in the vicinity of the 25-yard line. A 29-yard return by Darren Flutie, but almost certainly it will be called back as the result of an illegal block. Lance Trumbull appeared to be cut down.
Holding. BC number 51. First down.
The holding call is against Bruce Holmes.
51, you can see him come over, and he just takes a little bit of a piece of Terry Wright and throw him down to the ground. Throw him down. Pancake. Boom. You're pinned. 3-second count. Near fall. He said he didn't do it.
From the 16-yard line, Flutie rolls to his left and throws for Darren Flutie, and he should have a first down. He does up at the 30-yard line.
Bruce Holmes knows about penalties. You know, he had that controversy last year when he hit his own former classmate, Ricky Foggy, and was eliminated from the game. So he doesn't like penalties. He doesn't like what they do to him and his reputation.
How are the Flutie brothers doing tonight? Doug with 282 passing yards. Darren 65 as a receiver. Volpe picks up about 3 yards before being tripped up by Peter Gavdopoulos. Last week in the 49-47 loss to Saskatchewan, Darren Flutie caught 13 passes for 175 yards. Doug passed for 406 yards.
I'm impressed with Gavdopoulos doing a good job on Volpe.
If the Lions follow their past performance chart, they should put some points on the board in the fourth quarter. The ball dropped close on a tremendous hit. It's picked up by Terry Wright. I believe they're ruling that Terry Volpe never had possession. Or John Volpe, I should say. Terry Wright picked it up. Gary Wilkerson was the man who put the hit on and lost his helmet in the process, and Volpe felt that collision.
Well, you got to credit Doug Flutie with putting the ball in the receiver's hands. I mean, the ball is right here, but watch Wilkerson. Boom, he really put the wood on him, and look what he did. He picked him up and took him backwards. When you reject him, that's called a reject. When you pick him up and take him the other way, that's good.
Casaglia's third down punt, fielded by Mazzoli, and Mazzoli steps out of bounds in front of his own bench at the 41-yard line. 9:31 is the time remaining as the BC Lions lead by 2 points.
Coming out of the cold, the hot new crowd that's running the Canadian Football League. They're packing the grandstands, but can they turn a bunch of money losers into cash at the bank? Sunday night on Venture, right after Sunday Report.
Well, immediately following tonight's game, we'll travel to Ottawa to bring you tomorrow's game between the Toronto Argonauts and the Ottawa Rough Riders. We'll get our second look at David Williams, who shares the lead for pass receiving touchdowns. He has 11. 2 of them last week for the Toronto Argonauts. His previous 9 were with his former employers, the Edmonton Eskimos. Todd Dillon is dropped for a loss back at the 35-yard line by Paul Wetmore and Bruce Holmes. It's a loss of 6 yards on the play. It will be 2nd and 16. 9:05 remaining in the game.
Holmes made it look like he was blitzing, and that set up Wetmore to come in, and he really did a good job rushing the passer. Good job by the linebacker.
Well over the head of Wally Tilney, and the Ticats will be forced to send out the punting unit once again. Bobilovich looks very relaxed as he patrols the sidelines in front of the BC Lion bench. Bobilovich has a lifetime coaching record of 89 wins, 64 losses, and 3 ties. How does that compare with yours, Joe?
About the same if you take the handicap. I think coaches should have handicaps, too. I would have been about a scratch coach if I'd have used my handicap.
Trevathan on the punt return. Torres Irvin takes him down with help from Lee Knight, a 5-yard run back after a 36-yard kick. Warren Moon in 1983 established the league record 5,648 yards. Doug Flutie now has 4,601. As I said, he has been averaging 360 yards per game, and if he maintains that pace, he should break Warren's Moon record on October 12th when the Edmonton Eskimos are at BC Place Stadium.
He's really had to work harder than Warren Moon has. Doug Flutie gets out and avoids the rush almost every play. I remember in those days when Warren Moon had all that big linemen doing that turn back protection. There weren't too many people who got a hand on Moon. Flutie's got to work for it.
Flutie's pass complete to Matt Clark at the 51. It's 2nd and 2 BC. For Chris Skinner, he'll have the first down. He's driven back from the midfield stripe, but his progress had carried to midfield, and it's another BC first down.
Well, this is BC's quarter. It always has been all year, and they seem to thrive on being behind. When they get ahead, they don't seem to have the same kind of enthusiasm.
The Lions are below their seasonal average per game of just over 37 points. Flutie's going for broke. Great catch by Clark. Tremendous concentration following the flight of that football. A gain of 49.
This is in response to people who say that Doug Flutie can't pass from the pocket. This is just straight drop back. He's getting his protection, starting to cave in. He knows when he has to throw the football. He delivers it. Terry Wright's right on him, but it's a good throw.
So it's 1st and goal for the BC Lions. They are at the 8-yard line. Flutie will try and run it. Loses the football. Recovered in the end zone by Jay Christensen. Touchdown. That ball was touched by a member of the Hamilton Ticats. Went into the end zone. Vernon Maxwell knocked it away from Doug Flutie. It was touched by another Ticat, and Jay Christensen was there in the end zone to recover.
I'll tell you, it's magic. The guy knows what to do. Doug Flutie even knows when to fumble. Watch this. He starts to break away on a run, and he says, well, I'm not going to get there running the ball. I'll fumble it. He fumbled into the end zone like the holy roller that the Raiders did a few years ago. Touchdown.
Terry Wright had a shot at it. He actually touched the football at the goal line. And then Jay Christensen dove on top of the football, and he gets 6. And now Lou Pasaglia adds the point after. So the Lions have stretched their advantage to 9 points with 6:23 remaining. Well, that wasn't the way it was drawn up on the playbook, but Jay Christensen gets the touchdown, recovering the ball in the end zone. The kickoff bounces to Mazzoli. He gets away from one, gets away from another. But he can't escape Ryan Hansen at the 37-yard line.
Well, you know, you got your rockets and you got your gizmos and all that. I kind of like the Mazzoli. Should we give him a name? We should give him a name, the Mazzoli Oil. I mean, he's slippery. He's a slippery guy. I like his effort. He just keeps going, keeps fighting, keeps digging, and he always gets a couple extra forward gains.
He signed a contract with the Ticats on his birthday. Todd Dillon was forced to step up, and he has a couple of people grabbing at his jersey. Reggie Jackson was trying to pull him back.
It looks like they're doing a better job on the seam routes, and that's what Dillon's looking for. And remember, Dillon didn't play in that second quarter, and Hamilton really came out in that first half and played great football. They haven't had a break this half.
Reggie Johnson with help from Gerald Bayless. Flutie tonight has passed for 341 yards, just slightly below his average per game. And Todd Dillon is dropped back at the 40-yard line by Stuart Hill and Derek McCready.
Well, Derek McCready wasn't even slated to be in the lineup. They had the 4 import linemen they were using, but when McCready's in the ball game, you know he's there. He's doing as good a job as anybody. Look at the pressure he's up front. Just keeps fighting, and then he's back there. Stu Hill, of course, set it up, but McCready with his work got it.
The Ticats needed something to happen on that possession, much as it did in the opening quarter. The first 2 times they had the football, but there was nothing there. And all Jefferson can do is take the football and step out of bounds at the 33-yard line with 5:06 remaining in the ball game. That was a 36-yard punt by Paul Osbaldiston.
Well, John Gregory has to be encouraged by the play of the defense. I think his defense in spots has looked as good as they've looked all year. Since John's come in, they had that great game against Toronto. They've had to work, and John's sort of taken on a new project every week. Special teams one week, the next week adding some people to the defense, and then, of course, last week trying to get the pass route squared away.
Flutie has completed 23 passes tonight. He now has 324 for the season. He could establish a record for completions for the year. Volpe fights his way for a gain of about 6. If Flutie maintains this type of pace in throwing the football, he'll finish the year with 451 completions. Warren Moon set the league record in 1983, completing 380. And complementing the passing of Flutie is the running of John Volpe.
And you know what? Volpe used the fish hook on that play. Flutie's teaching him. The old spin around.
Flutie in a foot race and is caught from behind. He'll be close to a first down. By Bailey, who dove at him after thinking he had him trapped for a loss back at about the 30-yard line.
Now, Bailey is an athlete. You see Maxwell come up inside. He's the one that gave him the corner. Bailey is fighting off of some people trying to hold him, and then he runs him down. That big man got all the way out there and did a good job. He looked like Batman flying through the air. But what do you do with Flutie? I mean, if you rush him, he's going to scramble around and make you look foolish. It's tough to be a defensive lineman when you got to face a guy like Doug Flutie. You can't take the wrong angle. He'll get outside of you instantly. And if you go outside in on him, then you start looking like that. He likes number 58.
Jason Riley and Wally Zatilny. 21 and 58, the 2 numbers painted on that young man's face. Short yardage offense. And Volpe goes up over the top and gets the first down at the 45 with 3:29 remaining.
Gee, Volpe climbed that mountain, didn't he? And he went And then he does a gainer, about a 2.5 gainer. His degree of difficulty on this one was 5.6. Watch the gainer. He didn't curl his toes, so he was graded off at about a 6.
18 carries for 88 yards tonight for Volpe. We have an injured BC football player. 13,626 watching the action tonight at Iberwin Stadium. Center Ian Sinclair is the injured player. 3:27 the time remaining. 30-21 the BC Lions lead the Hamilton Ticats. John Gregory, the coach of the Ticats, really doesn't have fond memories of games this year against the BC Lions. Back on August the 21st, coach of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. The Roughriders lost 50-47, and the next day John Gregory was replaced as head coach. Now he has moved over to Hamilton as head coach, taking over here on September 2nd, winning his first game against the Toronto Argonauts. But he is looking at a 9-point deficit with only 3:27 remaining in tonight's game against the BC Lions. But over the years, the Lions have done rather well at Iberwin Stadium. In their last 10 meetings here, they have a 7-3 one-loss record.
Well, I know John Gregory said when he went into this ball game that he was going to make sure that they didn't make as many mistakes. And frankly, I don't think they made nearly as many mistakes in terms of running routes. They fumbled a few times.
Coulter moves in at center after doing some work on the sidelines, practicing his exchange with Doug Flutie. Flutie's in trouble. There's that fishhook move, and there's Trevathan waiting for the pass. He must have some remarkable sense of vision, being able to see out of the ear hole on his helmet to pick out receivers the way he does. As he throws complete to Trevathan for another first down with 3:01 remaining in the game. I have seen some elusive quarterbacks over the years of covering CFL football, but I really doubt if there have been any better than Doug Flutie.
What Doug did on this play is he knew Trevathan was back there because Trevathan was supposed to be blocking his backside slot. But gee, he just turned around, avoided the rush, and then dumped it off to the guy who was supposed to be his blocker. I mean, that's the way he thinks. Flutie's got that whole offensive set in his mind, and he knows where everybody is. He even knew where his blocker was. He said, hey, if I'm getting rushed from the backside, my blocker must be open because he didn't block. But I agree with you. I think in terms of eluding the rush, not necessarily running the ball downfield as a runner, but as far as eluding the rush, haven't seen anybody better.
First and 10 BC. The ball is at the 45 of Hamilton. The toss to Volpe. Volpe goes the other way. And he is upset by Terry Wright after a pickup of about 3.
Flutie tried to help him. Flutie tried to give him a block, but, you know, at 5'7", oh, we're not supposed to say that, huh? What is it, 5'10", 170?
I hope Volpe wasn't expecting Flutie to throw a block for him.
Well, he tried to make the screen there. He tried to make him a little shield, and it didn't work. And then Flutie was all upset because Volpe didn't make the cut he thought he would make. Has a first down. We've talked about the impressive statistics this year of Doug Flutie. Matt Clark came into the game with 1,073 yards. He now has added 107 more yards to that total. He has really shattered Mervyn Fernandez's rookie receiving record with the BC Lions, 1,046 yards in 1982, and after tonight, Matt Clark still has 5 games remaining. And he's got the size, and he knows where the void is in the defense at all times, and he's only a rookie. Another rookie is John Volpe, who struggles for a gain of about 3 or 4. Volpe, the ball carrier. He's getting closer to 100 yards. This is a nice cut. What he did on the play, he didn't go where the hole was designed, and Volpe rarely goes where there's a designed cut. Watch what he does. Now he breaks it through. He was supposed to cut the ball back on a draw play. He went where he found a seam.
Volpe only needs 4 more yards to hit the 100-yard mark in this game. And now Doug Flutie is calling a timeout with 1:31 remaining. As I said earlier, Volpe came into this game as the number 3 rusher in the Canadian Football League. He was 32 yards back of Reggie Barnes. Robert Mims of Winnipeg is the leader. And now Volpe is number 2 running back in the CFL in terms of total yardage for the year. Tony Kimbrough on the sidelines, intently to the instruction that Bob Obilovich gives to quarterback Doug Flutie. Flutie steps up, fakes as though he's going to toss it up, then does pitch it out to Chris Skinner. And he's got a touchdown.
I don't believe that one.
What a remarkable move by Doug Flutie. He faked as though he was going to toss it out, and then somehow spotted Chris Skinner wide open, and all John Gregory can do is shake his head, and all the BC Lion coaches can do is smile in appreciation of this young man's talent.
This is not a call. I mean, Flutie, this is Doug Flutie improvising here. He pretended he was going to throw Skinner. Then he did throw it to Skinner. Skinner's on a dead run right into the end zone. But that was a called pass play. And Flutie improvised, made it into what you'd call a drop back, pretend you're going to throw, run outside, fake the pitch, and then run an option.
The point after by Lou Busaglia with 1:21 remaining, and the BC Lions now have a victory all but guaranteed and a second-place tie in the West with the Edmonton Eskimos just 2 points in arrears of the league-leading Calgary Stampeders.
If you were to draw up a notebook for Doug Flutie, it would take 478,000 pages because there's never any play that is the same. Not one play is the same when Doug Flutie runs it. He's back to pass. See, he faked downfield, he faked outside, and now he actually pitches on the option play. So that was his option. First option, pass. Second option was to run, then to throw downfield, no to throw outside, no, keep going, and now throw your option play. Well, actually, it was 5 options. What an artist. He's an artiste.
Paul Bushy returns the kickoff for the Hamilton Ticats and brings it back to the 51 with 1:16 remaining. A 17-yard return after a 41-yard kickoff.
Well, now his brother's going to go over. Now, Darren's telling him what to do. He says, now, the next time we're going to run this thing, I'll be open downfield. So you fake the option, you fake the pitch, and then throw to me. I'll be coming across.
Still 5 weeks remaining in the CFL schedule, but you think Doug Flutie already has a lock of the Most Outstanding Player Award?
Oh, I haven't seen anybody do so many things and with such
flair.
Improvisation, I guess is the word. Watch Champion. This could be a big play if he can make him miss, but he can't get out of there. Finch is doing a good job, and then he gives him a little hog tie there by the ankle.
Todd Dillon completes the pass to Ken Abraire. Again, he was very close to going beyond the line of scrimmage before throwing, something he was penalized for earlier in the game. 1 minute exactly remaining. Ken Abraire is having a career night for the Hamilton Ticats. Unfortunately, it will be in a losing effort.
But Bruce Holmes coming in, making a nice hit after dropping deep in his zone.
Gerald Bayless shaken up on the play.
Gerald Bayless is the injured BC Lion. I can't ever recall a defensive lineman wearing a number, a single-digit number.
I don't know what the reason for that being, but I don't remember anybody in any league that was a defensive lineman with the size that he has wearing a single-digit number. It just doesn't look good. It doesn't have any dignity. You got to have 2 numbers when you're a big man. Big numbers, too, like 8s, 7s. I mean, why would you wear a number 4?
Flutie's statistics for tonight's ball game: 25 completions, 36 attempts, 369 yards, and he ran for another 56 yards. He fumbled the ball into the end zone for 1 touchdown. Lateral to Chris Skinner for another.
He didn't drop kick one in, though, tonight. He can do that.
And that's another story. Penalty flag on the play as the pass over on the far side of the field is intended for Champion. Prior to the game, Doug Flutie was out there practicing his drop kick from as far out as 35 and 40 yards, and he made it.
It's amazing. He can get him from, I saw him at 50 yards.
Offside, BC number 93. Repeat first up.
Reggie Johnson was offside on the play with 51 seconds remaining. It's 1st and 5 for the Hamilton Ticats now. Mazzoli was the target. Alonje and Lonnie Finch were both there defending against the Hamilton receiver. 46 seconds the time remaining. 2nd and 5, Hamilton. 37-21, the BC Lions lead.
I think had he thrown that a little bit sooner on a line, he would have had it, but too much air underneath it, and that gave Robin Belanger a chance to recover.
Little swing pass to Jamie Morris. That ball may have been tipped as Todd Dillon flipped it out there.
Pass complete to Morris.
I think Stuart Hill might have got his hand on that ball just to deflect it.
Well, he didn't want to go to Morris. He wanted to go downfield, but they had good coverage. They were dropping off. Of course, they can afford to do that with the lead now.
Just an average night's work for Doug Flutie. Only 1 touchdown pass tonight to his brother, his 27th of the season. Jamie Morris picks up the first down with 31 seconds remaining. The league record, sorry, Joe, the league record for touchdown passes in a season is 40. That was established by Peter Lisk. Lisk with Calgary did it in 1967. Mazzoli on the receiving end of the throw with 23 seconds remaining. Flutie even has time on the sidelines when he is watching the play to sign autographs.
Well, those autographs will be worse.
Backup quarterback Tony Kimbrough getting some advice from Flutie. Wally Tilney in the end zone trying to make that catch along the sidelines. I think he was concentrating as much as trying to stay in bounds as he was on the flight of the football.
There's 2 things you have to think about on that particular goal line or that end zone, because that end zone takes a sharp right curve, right angle, and you got to stay in bounds, and you got to make sure you don't run out of end zone when you're on that sideline. All 4 corners of the end zones.
Wally Zatilny makes the catch this time, and he has a first down inside the 10-yard line with 7 seconds remaining. We said earlier that the BC Lions were most productive in the 2nd and 4th quarters. They followed that pattern tonight. 17 points in the 2nd, 7 points again in the 4th. End zone throw. Touchdown. No, they have waved it off. Tony Champion a little upset, but the official there waved it off with 2 seconds remaining.
Well, one thing about Hamilton, their defense has gotten better, and they haven't stopped firing. I mean, they're out there pumping the whole time. I think the defense has been swarming over people. Offensively, Dillon looks like he's found some people that are going to help. Jamie Morris, very impressive. So I think Hamilton's got some people to build with. Why did they wave it off? I see why.
This should be the final play of the ball game. Wally Zatilny will score.
Look at Obi. He doesn't like anybody to score. I mean, he gets upset. If the game's over, he's got it won. He's still mad at the defensive coaches. He doesn't want anybody getting any points.
Wally Zatilny taking the pass and putting it in the end zone, making the score somewhat respectable, but the Ticats will go down to a 12th loss.
Hobie wants to get into the playoffs and make things happen, overcome that second place, maybe first if he can.
The Ticats attempt a two-point conversion, but Stuart Hill is having no part of it.
Is no good.
And the score holds at 37-27, the 12th loss of the year for the Hamilton Ticats. The BC Lions now tied for second place in the West.
Offensive player.
He's number 2, but the Toronto Argonauts lose nothing with Ricky Foggy as their starting quarterback. Long, lean receiver David Williams is a favorite target. Foggy himself may be a favorite target of Ottawa Rough Rider linebacker Brian Bonner, while Anthony Drawhorn will attempt to give his team good field position when Toronto plays at Ottawa tomorrow afternoon on the CFL on CBC. BC Lions have made it a long night for many CFL defenses this season, and tonight the Hamilton Tiger Cats know how it feels. The best quarterback in all the land gave the Ticat defenders a real workout, and Doug Flutie is our Molson MVP, mainly because he owned the field as he usually does. This play typified how he was able to turn it into a playground. It was Chris Skinner who took it in for a touchdown, but the play came off the top of Flutie's head. He passed for 369 yards and a 37-27 BC victory. The Lions are bidding for home field advantage in the playoffs, and this victory over Tiger Cats helps their cause. No shame in the defeat for the Ticats, who were in it all the way, but I'm not sure that dulls the pain of their 12th defeat. A quick turnaround for us now. We're in Ottawa tomorrow for the telecast of the Rough Riders game with the Toronto Argonauts at 1:30 Eastern. And don't forget, Sports Weekend following late local news tomorrow night, the Spanish Grand Prix from Barcelona. Good night from Hamilton.